of this. Go at we're going 34. Well, I'm not going. I'm going off of this. So you're going to go at 34.
Last night, the PD IceCats played in their first road game in franchise history, and it was the Marcinkiewicz twins that highlighted the show. Dominic scoring a hat trick. Game 2 of the two-game swing. Next. Casting a shadow over a legacy stadium on the campus of Wake Forest University lies Winston-Salem's Fairgrounds Arena, where this evening the PD IceCats embark on their second road game in franchise history after a 6-4 victory over the Twin City Thunderbirds last night. Hello again, everyone. Danny Bach. Pleasure to be with you this evening. The PD IceCats, after their first road game, a 6-4 win in a game where it's been a story for the IceCats of different characters highlighted on different game nights. Game number 1 of the season saw Ricardo Gonzalez shine in goal for the IceCats, coming away with a point in the standings in a shootout loss. And then in Game 2, Trevor Lord and his forward line highlighted the night with Lord scoring a hat trick and 3 assists. And then last night, Dominic Marcinkiewicz, the twin tandem for the forward line, was excellent throughout the evening. Dominic's scoring a hat trick for the IceCats en route to a 6-4 victory against the defending Commissioner's Cup runner-up and the Twin City Thunderbirds. But as we take a look at the scene here this evening, as another game in the PD IceCats inaugural season ensues, a lot of questions come in tonight's game where it was a case of offense, and plenty of offense through the last 2 games. It all started in Game 2 after what was a defensive battle in Game 1, where the IceCats found themselves in a slugfest against the Columbus River Dragons. Game 2, more of a track meet style of a game, with plenty of goals scored, 12 of them in fact, with the IceCats leading the way to a 7-5 victory. But then yesterday, against a Twin City team that has plenty of firepower to boast, two of the key stars for Twin City, including Zach White and Gus Ford, they scored within the first 8 minutes of play in the game, but then the IceCats responded in incredible fashion, scoring 6 of the next 7 goals on a route to a 6-4 victory over the Twin City Thunderbirds. But that sets the stage here this evening, and this major game as far as setting the tone for the season. If the IceCats can find themselves off to a great start here this evening, certainly with a team already in first place in the Continental Division standings, this could certainly set the tone for a long season to go. But that is the story here for the IceCats as they endeavor into another game against Twin City, and they'll face a different goaltender. We'll detail more of that later on. But for the IceCats, question will be, who's going to shine tonight? Is it going to be the Trevor Lord forward line that includes in tandem of Dustin Gisso and company, or is it the Marcinkiewicz twins that perform with an encore performance from last night? So plenty of questions involved with the IceCats, and all those questions are set to be answered in a matter of moments here from Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. But as we take a look at what else is intact for the IceCats and their standings in the Continental Division, having won their last 2 games in regulation and losing in a shootout to Columbus, that pins them atop the standings of the Continental Division. So the IceCats hope to retain that lead, and a win against a team that has won the Continental Division the last 3 seasons in a row. Certainly a tough test for the IceCats, but they showed their true colors last night, did the PD IceCats, in a 6-4 win. We'll see if things change. We'll take a break. Be back right after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
Hey, grab me one too.
Check, check. Check, check.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network.
Check, check.
This portion of today's broadcast is
check.
brought to you by Stanley
Check, check.
Steamer. Stanley Steamer of Florence provides professional deep cleaning services and comprehensive care for a cleaner, healthier home. Butler's Men's Shop, your one-stop shop for men. Everything from tuxedos and suits to sportswear. We have it all. Integrative Health Solutions, your partners in health.
We back.
Wait, what?
Let's go.
Oh, the audio's now dead on
Out
the air.
in London, that's my thing. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run up and
Wait,
dance with a
shouldn't the
devil.
ads be playing on the
Even
radio?
through the rainy weather, me and the brothers, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 of my boon at the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stink, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wristlet diff. Funny Benson instead of...
Looking to score big with your printing? M&M Printing and Graphics is your hometown team. From flyers, business cards and posters, to vinyl graphics, banners, and outdoor signage. We do it all. Whether you're promoting your business, cheering on your team, or bringing your brand to life, we've got the players and the skills to make it happen. Visit mmpg.us or call 843-662-2412. M&M Printing and Graphics, the official printer of the PD IceCats.
Ding dong.
Mountain dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dream.
How about this?
Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that refreshing mountain dew.
Okay.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Evening Shade Incorporated. Trusted team with over 2 decades of
Go through all
experience.
of them?
Borgett Distilling Company. Revolutionize your spirit. The Law Office of W. James Hoffmeyer, serving South Carolina since 1992. Kimbrell's Furniture, affordable home furnishings. You're watching.
I want to burn through all of them. Burn through all the ads so they get paid or go over the YouTube.
In the heart of Florence, South Carolina, discover Palmetto Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental care, led by Dr. Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education and bringing the latest methods to every patient.
Well, we're coming
At
in
Palmetto
really hot,
Smiles,
so-
comprehensive dentistry is under one roof: general care, restorative solutions, TMJ
Okay.
therapy,
As long
delivered
as it
with
doesn't change
compassion.
anything on YouTube,
Ready
and
for a
we're good on
healthier, more
radio.
beautiful smile? Call 843-203-5155
I'd much rather we get this done now,
or visit
opposed to during the
palmettosmiles.com.
game.
Dr.
So-
Brian Sang and his team
Yeah.
can't wait to welcome you.
Grab me one too.
Okay, thank you. Back live at Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Moments away from the start of the IceCats against Twin City Thunderbirds. But look at last night's game for the IceCats against Twin City. It all began in the first period as we take a look at the recap of all the scoring, and there was plenty of scoring to highlight. It all began at 5:45 of the first when a Twin City team that is red hot with firepower, with plenty of key stars, Zach White being one of them. 25 goals and 26 assists last season. He got the party started early for Twin City. He scored a goal assisted by Roman Kramer and Stephen Ford. That got Twin City off and running early. And then moments later at 8:13 of the first period, it was Gus Ford, MVP of this league back in 2023, where he scored 46 goals and had 68 assists. As we saw the MVP Gus Ford having himself quite the showcase and in the scoring act. And then it was the IceCats responding not too long after that. Minute 9 seconds later, the IceCats were able to score with a tally from Patrick's Marcinkiewicz. He earns his first goal of the year, and that made it a 2-1 game heading into the first intermission break. And then in the second period, that's when the IceCats got the party started. At 5:25 of the second period, it was Eli Rivers that scored off the rush, and the assist went to Chance Adrian and Trevor Lord. That tied up the game at 2 apiece. And then the IceCats responded soon after that at 7:09 with a goal from Chance Adrian crowding the net mouth. He ends up depositing his second goal of the season, that coming on the power play to give the IceCats a 3-2 lead. And then moments later, a minute and 36 seconds later, goal from Dominic Marcinkiewicz. He scores his first goal of the year, and with the assist to Houston Wilson and Nick McGill-Diaz, the captain. And then Twin City responded with a goal from Jan Slok to make the count 4-3, that during the midway portion of the second period. And then the IceCats with, again, Dominic Marcinkiewicz. He scores his second goal of the game, assisted again by Houston Wilson. Timur Razulov also tallies an assist to put the IceCats in front 5-3. And then in the third period, no scoring past the halfway mark until, guess who? Dominic Marcinkiewicz scoring the hat-trick goal, assisted by his brother Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Another helper going to Konstantin Sharnuk to give the IceCats a 6-3 lead. And then at 18:09, Twin City did score within the closing minutes off a tally from Gus Ford. So the MVP 2023 scoring twice. But in the end, the IceCats came away with a 6-4 win. Ricardo Gonzalez was stellar in net for the IceCats yet again, making a whopping 37 saves. And in the brief history of the PD IceCats, that is franchise record. We'll see how long that stays intact, considering how high-octane scoring things have been. You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network and listening on radio on 100.5 The Game, WWFN, Florence. Here on the IceCats Broadcast Network, 4 minutes on the arena clock before the game ensues. Here from Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena, Wake Forest is donned not too far away. The shadow cast from the arena falls on the stadium where the football team plays, the Demon Deacons. We'll see as we have plenty of scores around the grid for college football, pro sports, and including the Federal Prospects Hockey League. We'll keep you up to date with those during the intermissions also. So plenty installed for what's at stake as far as games happening all across the grid. Hope to keep you up to date as the night unfolds. But for PD IceCats team, just a reminder, Hometown Heroes Night is on deck next Friday night against the Athens Rock Lobsters, in a game that is a celebration for the hardworking members and their first responders and their contribution to making our lives what they are do not go unnoticed. And there is a special ticket offer the IceCats have. As far as ticket offer is concerned, you can look at the website, pdprohockey.com, or email ticketing place at tickets@pdprohockey.com for a special offer, as you can grab your tickets for next Friday's home game. If you are a first responder or a municipal worker, you can get 3 tickets for the price $45. Email us at tickets@pdprohockey.com, and the great folks in the ticketing department can set you up. As you can see on the screen, if you're watching online, Twin City about to be introduced, while the IceCats patiently wait. Starter in net for the IceCats, Ricardo Gonzalez. He's set to start for a 4th straight game. On the other end for Twin City, Boris Babic started last night, 18-3 record in yesteryear. This time, the Thunderbirds bring out a goaltender that played 2 games last season for them, and they won both of them. That's Dyson Skinner, experience in the SPHL with the Binghamton Bulls, and although he only has 2 games of experience in this league with Twin City, see how things change. And new year, a lot of things are different, obviously, when you go through changes during the off season, whether it's player personnel, coaching, and heck, for the IceCats, a new franchise that paves their way into the PD region. See what's at stake. But first, we'll head ringside for the introductions for the Twin City Thunderbirds, including our national anthem in a matter of moments here on the IceCats Broadcast Network. Okay, how about this? How about this? How about this? During it. It's time to meet starting lineups for both teams presented by Seminar Brewing. First in goal for Twin City is instead Boris Babic between the pipes. It was Dyson Skinner that led Twin City out for warm-ups. Instead, Babic earns the start yet again with a record of 18-3 last season. He did give up 6 goals yesterday in the loss to the PD IceCats. On the other end for the IceCats, Ricardo Gonzalez in goal after making 29 saves in the victory last week and then 37 saves yesterday. So we're set to go for tonight's 4th game of the season for the PD IceCats, as the first period is presented by your local GMC dealer. Starting lineup for the IceCats includes a starting line with Nick Gullo, Trevor Lord, and Dustin Gisso. The back line of Jordan Popoff and Timur Razulov. Jan Salak against Nick Gullo for the faceoff. As away we go here from Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. IceCats win the draw. Timur Razulov plays in back for Jordan Popoff. Razulov sends it in. Nick Gullo looks to go to work behind the Twin City goal line. From the right wing corner out to Jordan Popoff, who can't keep the puck in for the IceCats. Out for Razulov, banked off the wall. Dustin Gisso tipped it in. Nick Gullo from the left wing corner looking to center a pass before Twin City is able to claim with Yuri Peshtuka. So here comes the IceCats again. Trevor Lord from the right wing corner sent it around the horn for Dustin Gisso with the puck hot off his stick, and Twin City looks to navigate out of the zone. But Twin City instead dumps one down, play halted, and a slashing call right out of the gate with 47 seconds played, and still no score between the IceCats and Twin City. And into the penalty box goes Dustin Gisso for a slashing call. So Gisso in the box for slashing, which sends the IceCats onto the penalty kill presented by Bluefish IT Solutions. As Dustin Gisso in penalty box presented by Shauna Austin Realty. Patrick Marcinkiewicz banks one off the official. Out towards Dominic Marcinkiewicz. He dumps one in to kill time on the penalty kill that has Dustin Gisso in the box for the IceCats. And a steal. Here comes Patrick Marcinkiewicz to the net. Toe drags one. Couldn't escort a shot on goal from the right wing corner. Twin City looks to clear the puck. In they battle along the right side. Escaping is Gus Ford for Twin City. Pass Dominic Marcinkiewicz in tight. And Gonzalez stayed at home. Zach White with the chance for Twin City. Here's Gus Ford. Got it across for Ryan Glazer. Rink wide, Roman Kramer. Out high, Ford had it blocked. Right wing side, White to Kramer. Hot off his stick. Dominic Marcinkiewicz got a stick on it. Nick McGill-Diaz clears the length of the ice for the IceCats with 18:10 to go in the first. So behind the cage is Boris Babic for Twin City. From right end, Dustin Gisso waits in the box. Left side chance. Adrian scaled one in the air. 17:50 to go in the first period. IceCats hoping to kill a penalty from Dustin Gisso for slashing. Here's a chance for Houston Wilson that didn't materialize. And Twin City has the puck in the dying stages of the power play. Dangerous play for Boris Babic. And away goes Twin City on the move. Carter from the right side sent it in. Here's Jordan Popoff. Zinged it around for Garrett Johnson. Held in by Jan Salak. From the left point, he gives the puck away in behind the goal line. So here's Salak from behind the cage. Gives to Carter Jr. Right side, Jan Salak working below the goal line, awaiting. Out high for Stephen Ford, left point. Just so released from the box. Centering bid, tipped towards goal. From behind the net they go. Scanned in the air, Houston Wilson gloves down the loose puck, and away goes Dustin Gisso, fresh out of the box, looking to toe drag his way through 2 defenders. Said Don Carter Jr. lost the puck. Just so point blank had it snuffed out by Stephen Ford. He sent one around the horn. Right side, Jordan Popoff keeps the zone. Eli Rivers to Gullo. Out high for Popoff. Left side, Razulov fakes the drive. Back to Razulov again. Closing in, shooting one. In towards the right wing corner it goes. Right side, sending pass. Gullo flips one to the backhand and a save made by Babick. 16-18 to go in the first period between the IceCats and Twin City. For those watching online, do have score bug. Special thank you to our producer Aiden Mulholland. Make all that possible. Chance Adrian take the draw against Gus Ford, and 2023 league MVP is tossed out of the circle. Roman Kramer steps in with Chance Adrian off the scramble draw. Twin City through the neutral zone with Zach White sent it in. From behind the cage, Razulov from behind the net with Zach White going to work. Flexed out high, Kramer point blank, glove save made by Ricardo Gonzalez, and there is no further play. With 3:59 played in the first period, still no score between the IceCats and Twin City. Always a case where game two have more of a sense of control of knowing your opposition. To left corner off the draw, Twin City with Zach White. Puck pinballs straight towards Konstantin Chernak. Away go the IceCats with the newly involved skate Scaldi, who came into town today. Scaldi, plenty of experience, a few tryouts in the East Coast League. Skates Scaldi wearing 18 on your screen, the new addition. Puck trips straight to Konstantin Chernak. Chance Adrian lumbering ahead for the IceCats from the right circle. He looks for an open option. Said works below the goal line, out of the reach of Scaldi. Twin City sends one through the middle, off of Aaron's stick, all the way down behind the IceCats goal line for the defenseman in Jackson LeGros. He awaits patiently for the IceCats as he overlooks the scene. LeGros awaits and gives a cross for Eli Rivers through the neutral zone. Gullo launches one in. Babick from behind his cage. Trevor Lord impending. Kept in play for the moment until Garrett Johnson couldn't shield the zone and for the IceCats. Through the neutral zone. Puck comes to Noah Hippolyte-Smith. He spins against Eli Rivers before the IceCats send the puck on down. This heads for icing with 14:32 remaining the opening period. Still no score in the early stages. So that brings us into a stoppage of play. With still no score, brings us a chance to thank our sponsors with the PD IceCats, which includes Gorget Distilling, Powers Properties, Chick-fil-A, Palmetto Smiles, and Dr. Sang, who does an incredible job with dental work. Sean Austin Remax, along with Orange Theory, X-Gen Cryo, certainly a huge engineer to the success of the PD IceCats outside of the rink. And also Jim Hoffmeyer and his law office. Certainly one of the main standouts as far as law is concerned in the Florence region. Tomlinson Sales Company and their great apparel production work. And the PD IceCats certainly one of those engineers to that regard. Stanley Steamer, another one of our proud partners. And the Cloud Health and Fitness, the go-to workout facility for the PD IceCats. M&M Printing, another massive contributor to the success of the organization, and by Pepsi of Florence. Face-off to take place to the right of IceCats goaltender Ricardo Gonzalez, with Jan Salak facing Nick Gullo. Scored both games at home in the two-game series against the Columbus River Dragons. For Twin City, their second game of the season. After Gullo won the faceoff, Trevor Lord launches one through the neutral zone. Eli Rivers can't win the race against Don Carter Jr. as Twin City sends one below the PD goal line. from behind the net. Puck comes to Johnson and LeGros, who moves it ahead for Trevor Lord along the near wall before racing back for Twin City, Yuri Peshtuka. He sends one around his horn for Twin City before Michael Mania had the puck go off his left skate. So here is Jordan Popoff. He awaits for the IceCats as they look to begin their rush as Trevor Lord forward line goes off on a change. And replacing them is the Marcinkiewicz twins. Highlighted with hat trick from Dominic's yesterday. 13:40 to go in the opening period. Here's Dominic's Marcinkiewicz with a bid that went high off the back glass. This is Zach White through the neutral zone. Looking to lead Roman Kramer across the line. Left side paddle block made by the goaltender Ricardo Gonzalez with 13:25 to go the opening period. For Gonzalez, he has gotten busier and busier as the games have gone along, with shootout loss in game 1 and then game 2 forced to make 29 saves, which proved to be enough for an IceCats victory a week ago at the first win in franchise history. Patrick's Marcinkiewicz lost the puck. Timur Razulov cleared the zone. Racing ahead, look at the speed from Patrick's Marcinkiewicz. Driving in towards the goal, shooting, he scores! Patrick's Marcinkiewicz with a move, and the IceCats lead 1-0. Turn on the track speed for Patrick's Marcinkiewicz off the setup from Timur Razulov on what was a near clearance attempt, and the IceCats draw first blood here in Winston-Salem. You cannot believe the speed shown. Goal scored at 6:48 from Marcinkiewicz. Could not ask for a better start for the PD. It was a clearance attempt that set it up. The IceCats with a 1-0 lead on a brilliant goal. Here's Chance Adrian. IceCats in on the rush. Eli Rivers with a shot and a save made by Boris Babic. What a chance that was installed for the IceCats and for Patrick's Marcinkiewicz after his brother had the hat trick yesterday. He scored, Patrick's did, first goal for the IceCats first period yesterday. So some things do remain the same. What is different, this goal gives the IceCats the opening goal of the game. Twin City looks to respond though. Nate Keeley from below the goal line. Out high, Dion Demke towards the net. Off of the helmet of Gonzalez, he is down towards the left wing side. Konstantin Chernak looks to clear the PD end, and he does. Demke launches one, banked off the glass along the far wing. IceCats look to fish the puck out on the back check. Konstantin Chernak pries the puck ahead for Nick McGill-Diaz, and the IceCats able to vacate the defensive territory. DD goes Dion Demke along with Adam Zimmerman for Twin City. And it is Zimmerman who sends it in. Jan Salak allows Yuri Peshtuka go to work behind the goal line. But Nick McGill-Diaz in a turnover. Salak point blank. Couldn't escort accurate enough of a shot. With 11:50 to go. Flung towards Yuri Peshtuka. Got it out high for Shabakov with a shot blocked by an IceCat body. And Garrett Johnson as the IceCats send the puck down. 11:35 to go in the first. IceCats with a 1-0 lead. So here's Don Carter Jr. behind his cage. He sets up Jan Salak from the right side. Johnson intervened against the Twin City pass, and instead the Thunderbirds iced the puck. 11:21 to go in the first period. IceCats with a 1-0 lead thanks to a goal from Patrick's Marcinkiewicz on a play that showed his speed, and it's something that was advertised when the IceCats acquired Marcinkiewicz twins. Certainly has been the story of Marcinkiewicz weekend. Houston Wilson with a shot juggled by Salak, who sticks one in towards the corner. Houston Wilson able to earn a piece of the puck. Popoff played Michael Mania, and the IceCats forced to retrieve the puck in their own end. Here's Patrick's Marcinkiewicz again. He gains the blue line along the right circle. Looking to ride in towards the hashes. Instead towards the left wing side. Here's Twin City with Zach White in behind for Sergei Sherbakov. Here's Roman Kramer. He launches one ahead in the direction of Gus Ford. Moving with White. Zach White in the clear. He scores. Zach White off the pass from Gus Ford. And Twin City has tied the game. You want pace? You have it. White with the goal, Ford with the assist at 9:19 for those keeping track at home. And it's a 1-1 game. And that line for Twin City factors to be what will remain Twin City to be a contender for many years to come. Puck in the neutral zone. Konstantin Chernak got it across for Eli Rivers. In a 1-1 deadlock here in Winston-Salem. Here's Chance Adrian. He goes for a spin. Rivers touched ahead. Chernak got it across. Left wing side, Bowie Slarks. His pass taken away, however. Roman Kramer with the theft for Twin City. Chance Adrian settles the bouncing puck. Rivers played it back for Nick McGill-Diaz. Banked for Chance Adrian. Babbitt from behind his net lays for Dion Demke. Here's James Farmer for Twin City. Taken away. Nick Gullo point blank. And a glove save made by Boris Babbitt. 9:44 to go in period number 1. Brings us to a break in the action. Do want to thank proud partners here on the IceCats Broadcast Network, which includes Evening Shade, Hertz, Kimbrell's Furniture, Hometown Floor Coverings, Integrative Health Solutions, Zapata's Grill, Seminar Brewing, Damasimo's Restaurant, Margarita's Restaurant, and Something to Remember. 1-1 deadlock, but once again it's the tandem of Zach White, Gus Ford making an impact for White. That's goal number 2 on the year for Twin City. This being the second game for White. It has been plenty of scoring on his account. He scored the first goal yesterday for Twin City. So some things remain the same. The first goal scorers for either team doing so in the opening period. We just passed the halfway mark in period number 1. Fresh off the media timeout. Do want to thank our proud partners for the PD IceCats, MUSC. Certainly doing a lot in keeping the IceCats in the best shape. Face-off to take place. To the left of the goaltender Boris Babbitt for Twin City. Forward line includes Nick Gullo, Trevor Lord, and Dustin Gisso. And for Lord and Gisso, Lord is tied for the league lead in points. Gisso tied for the league lead in assists with 6. Lord has 8 points. IceCats keep the zone. Lord towards the net. A beam bid that goes wide to the left. Johnston tipped towards Nick Gullo. Behind the goal line, accounted for by Dunn Carter Jr. PD looks to keep it in. Right side, Gullo hunts for the puck. Gisso centering pass, hoping to find Trevor Lord. Instead taken away by Twin City in the form of Nate Keeley. Out through the neutral zone. In comes John Butita straight to the net, and what a save made by Gonzalez. Butita keeps it alive for Twin City. Butita hangs on behind the goal line. Got it in the direction of Carter Jr. Instead, pass was banked at an awkward angle for him. Twin City forced to retreat. 11 minutes played in the opening period. So through the neutral zone, here's Jordan Popoff. Bank towards Butita to Popoff. Across it goes for Jackson LeGros. Houston Wilson works through the middle. He stops on the dime after entering across the blue line. Don Carter Jr. near the end of his shift, but Twin City looks to break out. Don Carter Jr. sent it in. Paddled for Gonzalez. Razula banked one out in towards
Twin City behind the goal line. Icing waved off with an 8:18 to go in the first. Here's Stephen Ford for Twin City. Tipped ahead by Butita. And here come the IceCats. Dominic Marcinkiewicz to Houston Wilson. Toe drags, backhanded pass for Patrick Marcinkiewicz. He holds up high against the pressure from Jan Salak, and the IceCats forced to vacate the attacking end. 7:55 to go in the opening period. Patrick Marcinkiewicz gains the line. Here's Houston Wilson against pressure from Stephen Ford. Dominic Marcinkiewicz goes to work, launched out of the defensive territory from Roman Kramer. And Jordan Popoff back last line of defense for the IceCats. He sends one, hoping for a tip from Dominic Marcinkiewicz, who has the puck. He gains across the blue line. Dominic Marcinkiewicz, one-on-one, battle with James Farmer. And Twin City with a steal. Here comes Gus Ford looking for Kramer. Ford has it again. Backhander pass. Farmer, a spectacular save from Gonzalez. Ford can be cleared out this time by Patrick Marcinkiewicz. IceCats on the move. Eli Rivers from the right circle. Shernock sailed one towards the left corner. Chance Adrian hoping to fling the puck loose. And a great defensive play by Konstantin Shernock to stop Gus Ford on a break. But here's Zach White. Tether the pass. Right side, a shot. Gonzalez the save. He had trouble with the puck off the bid that came from Ryan Glazer. And out of the zone it goes, thanks to defensive effort from Eli Rivers. Boy, he's defended well in the early stages. 6:30 to go, the opening period. Farmer gains the line for Twin City from the left circle. He's hit hard, thanks to Garrett Johnson. Here's Nick McGill-Diaz. Butita with pressure on the way. Chance Adrian off the back glass and on out. Farmer goes D-to-D with Dion Dempke for Twin City. With 6:09 to go in the first, Gonzalez to play the puck. Got it ahead for Dustin Gisso. Gisso shooting one. Blocker stop made by Babick. Lord with Gisso behind the goal line. Got it out high for Johnson. Rink-wide pass, nobody home for the IceCats. Heavy hit on Jackson LeGros from the captain, John Butita. And that leads to a no stoppage. Here's a shot that's blocked by Johnson, Garrett Johnson. That is Butita. Another shot. Gonzalez looks to settle in the end. So the hit that came from John Butita started it all. With the indication no penalty coming in the aftermath. IceCats in this status of questioning what's going on with 5:31 to go in the first period. Shots on goal favors the home side 7-5. So a heavy hit leads us to the stoppage. And head coach Gary Graham asking for an explanation from the officials. The face-off set to take place in front of Ricardo Gonzalez's goal. So the officials hoping to keep order after the explanation. Jan Salak set to take the face-off. IceCats hope to have Trevor Lord line out, which includes Nick Gullo and Dustin Gisso. And forced to return, well, Jackson LeGros is being helped off by Nick McGill-Diaz. Certainly hope for the best for LeGros. He makes his way into the dressing room with 5:31 to go in the first period. So face off to the right of Ricardo Gonzalez. IceCats have Jordan Popoff along the back line. Trevor Lord still remains with Gisso and Gullo. Twin City first to the puck. Jan Salak from behind the goal line. From the right wing corner. Centering bid behind the net. A wraparound chance that came from Yuri Peshtuka. Ricardo Gonzalez melts things down with 5:19 to go in the first period in a 1-1 deadlock. So both teams with stars that have been advertised have found the score sheet, with Zach White scoring after Patrick Marcinkiewicz opened the scoring for the IceCats. Off the draw, shot was blocked on the effort from Peshtuka. Razulov has an assist tonight on the lone goal for the IceCats. Zimmerman dumps the stone in. Here's Jordan Popoff. Got it toward the left side, off the skate of Dustin Gisso, where Popoff is able to overlook the scene for the IceCats. Under 5 minutes to go in a 1-1 deadlock. Here's Trevor Lord, right side, riding in on goal. Save made by Babic. He covers with 4:46 to go in the opening period. Brings us to immediate timeout. Brings us a chance to thank our proud partners of the PD IceCats, which includes Gorget Distilling, Powers Properties, and Chick-fil-A. Palmetto Smiles, Ringmax of Sean Austin, Zapata's Grill, Integrative Health Services, Hometown Floor Coverings, Kimbrell's Furniture, Hertz, along with something to remember. Something to remember for the IceCats, Patrick Marcinkiewicz at 6:48 of the first period, and what might be the best goal the IceCats have scored as far as highlight reel quality is concerned. As you can see on your screen for those watching online, IceCats at their bench. Head coach Gary Graham hauling out the shots for his side. Well-traveled head coach, winning a championship with the Pensacola Ice Flyers. That back in 2013. That was his first head coaching stint before he vaulted his way to the East Coast Hockey League with Fort Wayne, his hometown. Certainly considers the Indiana area his home in many regards. On the other end for Twin City, Steve Harrison, a well-traveled head coach for Thunderbirds side, including heading to the Commissioner's Cup final last 2 seasons in a row. Houston Wilson go up against Gus Ford from the right circle. Off the draw, comes to Patrick Marcinkiewicz out high for Konstantin Chernak. McGill Diaz pass for Chernak. He's forced to retreat the zone. Here's Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Ahead of Zach White, claimed by Dion Demke through the middle before Patrick Marcinkiewicz earns a stick to impede the play. But Kramer riding in. Roman Kramer, backhander towards Gus Ford. Out high, White shooting one, blocked by the body of Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Houston Wilson races ahead for the IceCats with 4:10 to go the opening period. Here's Nick McGill Diaz. He works D to D across for the IceCats to send it in. And forward line of the Twins hope to go on a change. Here's Twin City though. Gus Ford looks to go into work. Timur Razulov across out of the reach of Eli Rivers. And a beamed bid that goes by the goal from Noah Hippolyte-Smith. Through neutral zone. Rivers with Patrick Marcinkiewicz getting a line from the right corner, looking to send one on goal. Defended well by Twin City with 3:33 to go in the first. Parlayed on back for Garrett Johnson with pressure on the way from Gus Ford. While tumbling to the ice goes Hippolyte-Smith. Two IceCats collide. And this is Noah Hippolyte-Smith who plays one back for Don Carter Jr. With 3:14 to go in the first and an even 1-1 game. Razulov across for Eli Rivers. Turnover, Butita in the clear. Backhander, what a stop by Gonzalez. Twin City keeps the pressure before a turnover sends out the IceCats with Chance Adrian, who gains the blue line. Right again, skates Scaldi. Checked by Don Carter Jr. Adrian takes a tumble thanks to the pressure of Michael Mania. 2:45 to go in the first. In a 1-1 game, fan clearance from Sergei Sherbakov. Here is Nick McGill Diaz in the direction of Skate Scaldi. He launches one where Babic watches one head around. Here's Twin City with Mania. Skate Scaldi looking to drive. Don Carter Jr. vetted one where Twin City with Nate Keeley send one on deep with 2:18 to go in the first in a 1-1 deadlock. Here's Jordan Popoff, looking to kickstart the IceCats rush. Here's Trevor Lord, who gains the end line and sends the puck in. Dustin Giseau waits from the left corner. He takes a tumble thanks to being hit by Jan Salak. Two forwards colliding. Here's Ryan Glazer, gains the line, haltage in play, and Twin City is, with a stoppage in play, deemed offside. 1:55 to go in the first, but Ricardo Gonzalez making an incredible stop on the break for John Butita. Serves as the assistant coach for Twin City, but an loose disc. Zimmerman sent it in. Razulov races back for the puck for the IceCats. 1:45 to go in the opening period. Razulov overlooks the scene. Got it across for Dominic Marcinkiewicz to Patricks. And the twin Patricks sent it in. Backhands one into the right wing corner. Centering pass. Houston Wilson lurking in front of the net. Twin City breaks out. Glazer gains the red and the blue line before a collision between Houston Wilson and Jan Salak. Out for Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Tipped on its way on down, and the IceCats with the twin line go on a change. Spilling on the play is Zimmerman. Here's Trevor Lord. Defended well by James Farmer as Lord goes for a skate. Miguel Diaz below the goal line. Gullo with Giseau in the vicinity. Twin City looking clear with 55 seconds to go in the first period in a 1-1 tie. Here's Trevor Lord out for Dustin Giseau. Out high, a bid from Garrett Johnson. Nick Gullo from the left wing corner taking a tumble. Trevor Lord to Giseau. Out high, Johnson. Tipped by McGill Diaz with 39 seconds. They score! From an angle, the IceCats have taken the lead with 38 seconds to go. And who else but Trevor Lord? From an acute angle, Lord able to find the back of the net, winding up on the bid, and scoring the goal at 19:23. Sustained pressure pays off on a late goal for the IceCats, thanks to Trevor Lord. What a play. Closing seconds of the first. Here's Jordan Popoff. Bowie Slarks looking to gain the line. Butita has it for Twin City. 25 seconds to go in the period. Konstantin Chernak, haltage in play. And the puck played by a high stick. 22 seconds to go in the period. 2-1 lead for the IceCats. Off the goal from Trevor Lord. After a hat trick and 3 assists last week, Lord has certainly proven to be one of the main storylines, as expected, for the IceCats this year. Off the face-off, IceCats race to the puck in their own end. Jordan Popoff. Eli Rivers looking to lead out a rush. Here's Don Carter Jr. Backhander bid towards the goal. Pursued by Hippolyte Smith. Played out high for Sherbakov. 3 seconds to go in the period on goal from Hippolyte Smith, and the remaining time runs out in the first period. The PD IceCats with goals from Patrick Marcinkiewicz and Trevor Lord lead 2-1 after 20 minutes. First intermission on deck as we'll take a break. Be back after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
Grab me one too.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Stanley Steam. Stanley Steamer of Florence provides professional deep cleaning services and comprehensive care for a cleaner, healthier home. Butler's Men's Shop, your one-stop shop for men. Everything from tuxedos and suits to sportswear. We have it all. Integrative Health Solutions, your partners in health.
We back. Let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brother, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 of my bone that the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stank, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wristlet diff. Funny Benson instead of...
Looking to score big with your printing? M&M Printing and Graphics is your hometown team. From flyers, business cards, and posters to vinyl graphics, banners, and outdoor signage, we do it all. Whether you're promoting your business, cheering on your team, or bringing your brand to life, we've got the players and the skills to make it happen. Visit mmpg.us or call 843-662-2412. M&M Printing and Graphics, the official printer of the Dee IceCats.
Ding dong.
Mountain dude?
The mountain's calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Evening Shade Incorporated. Trusted team with over 2 decades of experience. Gorget Distilling Company. Revolutionize your spirit. The Law Office of W. James Hoffmeyer. Serving South Carolina since 1992. Kimbrell's Furniture. Affordable home furnishings.
In the heart of Florence, South Carolina, discover Palmetto Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental care, led by Dr. Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education and bringing the latest methods to every patient. At Palmetto Smiles, comprehensive dentistry is under one roof: general care, restorative solutions, TMJ therapy, delivered with compassion. Ready for a healthier, more beautiful smile? Call 843-203-5155 or visit palmettosmiles.com. Dr. Brian Sang and his...
Hey, grab me one too.
Ding dong.
Mountain dude?
The mountain's calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew.
Hey, let's go.
Back live at Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena, the IceCats lead Twin City by a count of 2-1. We take a look at the story through 20 minutes of play, where it all began at 6:48 as far as scoring is concerned. Timur Razulov in his own end for the IceCats in an effort to clear the puck. In his clearance attempt, somehow found the stick of Patrick Marcinkiewicz, and he went to work by deking wide to the right, then to the left, and then back outside to the right before driving towards the goal and scoring an incredible goal to give the IceCats a 1-0 lead. And that's been the story of the weekend with the Marcinkiewicz twins, with yesterday Patrick scoring the opening goal, and then Dominic's ended up scoring a hat trick in the second, through the second and third periods, 2 in the second and 1 in the third, en route to the IceCats winning their first road game in franchise history by a 6-4 count. But as we carried on throughout the first, Twin City had to imagine that the 3-time defending Commissioner's Cup finalists would respond, and they did with their veteran core that included Zach White and Gus Ford, where it was Gus Ford that set up Zach White. An extra assist came from Roman Kramer, and that is where Twin City tied up the game at 1. But then late in the period, Trevor Lord for the IceCats on a one-timer bid on a snapshot from the left circle. He found the back of the net, beating Boris Babik, and the IceCats with a 2-1 lead heading into the dressing room for the first intermission. So with that late goal from Trevor Lord, this is a similar story to what we saw a week ago today, with Trevor Lord scoring a late goal in a period. With his hat-trick goal last week against Columbus, that came near the end of the second period. We'll see if that momentum carries itself out through period number 2. Ricardo Gonzalez in goal for the IceCats has been excellent, and he's been called upon to make some incredible saves, including a point-blank chance from John Butita, who had a breakaway after a miscue in the defensive territory for the IceCats. So Gonzalez has been stellar throughout, but again, it's the IceCats with a 2-1 lead over Twin City as we head to the break. Shots on goal in favor of the Thunderbirds of Twin City, as they have the edge on the IceCats 9-7 in that regard. We do want to thank plenty of our partners with the PD IceCats, including Something to Remember Video Productions, a huge contributor to the videos that you see on the IceCats broadcast network. Something to Remember, certainly one of the many business partnerships that we have, and Something to Remember certainly provides something to the nature of their name. Another proud partner includes Zapata's Grill, along with Kimbrell's Furniture. This has been one of the furniture supplying outlets for the PD IceCats, as is the case for car rentals with Hertz, one of our proud partners with the IceCats. Pepsi of Florence, so much so that their logo is on the center ice dot. Pepsi of Florence, certainly an engineer to IceCats' success. And X-Gen Cryo, and the effort they do into making the IceCats who they are today, not only on the ice but also off of it by staying fit. Plenty of cardio workouts that certainly make you sweat, and sweat aplenty. So good friends at X-Gen Cryo doing spectacular job. Chick-fil-A, another one of our proud partners, and when you see the ice resurfacer at the Florence Center, yes, it is blanketed with the cow from the Chick-fil-A cow, that is, and we call that the ice resurfacer. Certainly you may be thinking of something else, something that we cannot say for reasons. But also another one of our proud partners, Powers Properties, certainly supplying one of the visiting territories for players, and plenty of those on the IceCats, and for McLeod Health and Fitness, as they are one of the engineers and the workout partner for the PD IceCats. We take a look at the scoreboard in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. Yesterday, when we signed off, several games had yet to be concluded. Now them in the books. We take a look at what is involved with the games yesterday. The Binghamton Black Bears facing the Danbury Hat-Tricks, two teams that the IceCats are bound to see this season. Danbury coming around the new year to face the IceCats at home, while Binghamton 3 weeks later awaits at their barn. Binghamton, a team that has won the Commissioner's Cup Championship the last 2 years in a row. And for Binghamton, it was a case of plenty of shot volume, 50 of which on Danbury's goal, where in the end Binghamton jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and they would not relinquish that lead en route to a 6-3 victory over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Binghamton, a team that many people already paying attention to as the year begins, and for good reason. They've won the Commissioner's Cup Championship the last 2 seasons in a row. Other games that took place yesterday in the Federal Prospects Hockey League: Watertown, a 6-2 victory against Port Huron. A matchup between two teams that the IceCats are going to be very familiar with awfully soon. Matchup between Blue Ridge and Columbus. Columbus, a team the IceCats faced last week, and both teams split victories in those 2 games. But in Blue Ridge's season opener, it was the Bobcats with 3 goals in the 3rd period. After trailing 2-1 to Columbus, Blue Ridge came away with a 4-2 win. Michael Mercurio scoring 2 goals for Blue Ridge en route to the victory for the Blue Ridge Bobcats in their first game of the season. Columbus with their 2nd loss of the year. Other games that took place in the Federal Prospects Hockey League: Topeka against Biloxi, and it was Topeka that came away with a 5-2 victory, with Topeka being the furthest western team in the league that is playing this year. Another game taking place in the league that features a team in the Continental Division, with the Athens Rock Lobsters making a trip to Indiana to take on the Sentinels, and it was a touchdown and a field goal for Athens. They defeated the Indiana Sentinels by a count of 10-0. Games that are on the docket here this evening: a lot of repeats from yesterday, including 1 extra game on the schedule. You have Binghamton and Danbury, Watertown taking on Port Huron, Columbus against Blue Ridge, Athens again meeting Indiana, and Biloxi taking on Topeka. Another added game, it's the Baton Rouge Zydeco making their season debut on the road against their in-state rival in Monroe, in a game that's set to take place in a little over an hour's time, and that also the same start time as Topeka. And several other games in the league, with Binghamton and Danbury and Watertown and Port Huron minutes away from beginning. 7:30 start time for Columbus and Blue Ridge, as is the case for Athens against Indiana. That's a look at the storylines in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. Plenty of scores also in the national sports scene. College football, with it being Saturday. A lot of big games on the docket, especially in the top 25. And there have been some high-powered matchups that have taken place throughout the course of this Saturday. Look at some of the final scores that have taken place. Indiana, a team that has turned heads, especially with a win against Oregon several weeks ago. They faced Michigan State, and they put on an electric display with 4 touchdown passes for Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, and it was the Indiana Hoosiers with a 38-13 victory over the Michigan State Wolverines. Top 10 matchup, Georgia against Ole Miss, and what was a high-scoring affair, Georgia comes away with a win against the 5th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Ohio State, 34-0 victory against Wisconsin. Vanderbilt, 31-24 victors against LSU. Oklahoma defeating the South Carolina Gamecocks by a count of 26-7. But a look at some of the other games taking place. Oregon, a 7-3 lead over Rutgers. Washington State with 7-0 lead against 18th-ranked Virginia. Texas A&M
ranked 4th in the nation. They lead Arkansas near halftime 21-13. Texas Tech ranked 7th in the nation, trailing Arizona State 19-7. You're listening to IceCats Hockey on 100.5 The Game, WWFN, Florence. A look at the NHL and scores that are happening in a moment, but first we'll take a break. Be back after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
Hey, let's go.
Good, okay.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
All right, yep.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me
Okay.
the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something
This
simple
one?
and true.
Oh, wow.
All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew.
Okay.
Give me the sunshine, give me a
Hey, grab me one too.
Okay. We got that going for us. Were we off from the get-go, or was it only during ads where? Okay. Of course. Nothing you can do.
In the heart of Florence, South
at least we
Carolina,
figured out the
discover
problem,
Palmetto
so-
Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental
All
care,
right, what are
led
the
by Dr.
comments
Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education
Just
and bringing the
realized we
latest
started
methods
early.
to every patient.
How is that
At
nice,
Palmetto
guys?
Smiles, comprehensive
okay, so
dentistry
what
is
can we
under
work
one
on?
roof. General care, restorative
Danny, we hear
solutions,
you.
TMJ therapy, delivered with compassion. Ready for a healthier, more beautiful smile? Call 843-203-5155 or visit palmettosmiles.com. Dr. Brian Sang and his team can't wait to welcome you.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by McLeod Health and Fitness Center, the wellness leader. Austin and Associates. The right agent can lead the way. Hertz Car Rentals. Smart deals for any destination. Sports Clips Haircuts. The pros in men's and boys' hair. You're watching the IceCats.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
Looking to score big with your printing? M&M Printing and Graphics is your hometown team. From flyers, business cards, and posters to vinyl graphics, banners, and outdoor signage, we do it all. Whether you're promoting your business, cheering on your team, or bringing your brand to life, we've got the players and the skills to make it happen. Visit mmpg.us or call 843-662-2412. M&M Printing and Graphics, the official printer of the PD IceCats.
Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Twin City Thunderbirds making their way back onto the ice. PD IceCats soon to follow. Long change for the second period. Do you want to take a look at some of NHL games happening this evening? Most with the first games beginning at 7 o'clock. Plenty of games on the slate, especially in the Eastern Conference. Seattle Kraken on the road against Toronto. New York Rangers on the road at Bell Center to take on the Montreal Canadiens. Minnesota Wild in Philadelphia to take on the Flyers. Tampa Bay Lightning in Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets. Dallas in St. Louis. Nashville, Winnipeg. Boston Bruins in Colorado to take on the Avalanche. And Carolina Hurricanes on the road. West Coast road trip. Start time at 9 o'clock against the Los Angeles Kings. And the Calgary Flames on the road against Vegas.
Pittsburgh Penguins on the road against San Jose. I do apologize. There are several games that took place with the Buffalo Sabres blanking the Florida Panthers 3-0. New York Islanders 5-4 winners against Ottawa. And New Jersey Devils 5-3 winners against defending Western Conference champion Edmonton Oilers. Set to go for the second period. See how the long change affects both teams. Mentioned that where it's a longer trek to the bench. We'll see how that plays itself out. Dustin Gisso goes up against Jan Salak for the face-off. So we look to begin in period number 2 from Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Glad you're with us on the IceCats Broadcast Network. The crowd at Winston-Salem with a warm reception for their Thunderbirds. Away we go. The second period is presented by Budweiser. IceCats with the puck in their own end. Timur Razulov looks to go to work for the IceCats. Launched out by Nick Gullo in the direction of Sergei Sherbakov, Thunderbirds defenseman. IceCats look to bring the puck in. Jan Salak for the neutral zone. Yuri Peshchuka gains the line for Twin City. Tethered a pass for Michael Mania from the left wing corner. He's checked by Jordan Popov. Behind the net, Jan Salak got it out high. Here's Don Carter Jr. from the right circle. He closes towards the goal line in the right corner. Out high for Michael Mania. Intentionally wide, banked off the back glass before Jordan Popov looks to clear the zone out towards Don Carter Jr. Here's Twin City. Going for a spin goes Zach White. Dishes across for Sergei Sherbakov. Left wing side, in comes Twin City. Gus Ford to Zach White. Pass was behind him. Dominic Marcinkiewicz setting up Houston Wilson, who gains the line. Houston Wilson shooting a bid that hits off the netting and out of play. 1:06 played in the second period. 2-1 lead for the IceCats, thanks to goals from Patrick Marcinkiewicz and Trevor Lord. A minute played in period number 2. Off the face-off, straight towards goal. Dominic Marcinkiewicz had a point-blank chance, and he missed the net. Here's Marcinkiewicz out high to Nick McGill-Diaz through traffic, and a save made by Babic. He's on it again. McGill-Diaz with Dominic Marcinkiewicz going to work. Houston Wilson toe drags to the backhand, defended well by Zach White. And Twin City breaks out with Gus Ford. Led on ahead. Here comes a Roman Kramer. Save made by Gonzalez. And that save was made by his helmet. Dominic Marcinkiewicz got it to Konstantin Chernak. Houston Wilson gains the line. Right-handed shot. Save made by Babic. Twin City looks to clear on out for Gus Ford. He gains the blue line for Twin City. Below the PD goal line. Out for White. He closes. Zach White whistles one high over Gonzalez's cage. Ford plays one low. Stephen Ford, that is. Cleared out and sent for icing. Patrick Marcinkiewicz sent it down as he was seemingly tired, as that being the long change in the second period. So an important face-off for the IceCats to win here. 2:11 played in the second period. 2-1 lead for the IceCats. Keeley wins the draw for Twin City. Mutita launches one behind the goal. Ryan Glazer, first one to it for Twin City. Marcinkiewicz's line, tired from their shift. They look to gain a change. Dominic Marcinkiewicz garners the line for now. He looks to center a pass in front. Patrick Marcinkiewicz is stopped by Babic. And the twin line at last can earn a break. 17:26 to play in the second period. 2-1 lead for the IceCats. But quite the effort from the twin line, even after the icing where they were tired. Third line for the IceCats comes on with Chance Adrian, along with Skate Scaldi, the new addition to the roster today. Scaldi is in the mix along with Adrian. Chance Adrian pressed to the boards by Nate Keeley before Sherbakov, Sergei Sherbakov for Twin City clears the puck out. Dangerous bid towards goal thanks to Chance Adrian. Twin City struggling to bring the puck out of their own end. Adrian looked to find Eli Rivers. Twin City from behind their cage. Sergei Sherbakov. Touch pass. IceCats keep it in. Here's Chance Adrian. Got out high. Razulov shooting. Had it blocked by John Butita. Twin City finally can head out to the neutral zone. In they come. Don Carter Jr. lost the puck. Looking to drag towards the backhand. Glazer got out high for Sherbakov. Shooting one towards goal before it was blocked by a stick. Razulov clears on out, and this heads for icing. 16:24 to play in the second period. A 2-1 lead for the IceCats off of goals from Patrick Marcinkiewicz and Trevor Lord. With the goal from Lord coming late in the first period. 2-1 lead at this point. And this, a matchup when you see these two teams, you'll expect plenty of speed as opposed to what was seen last week for the IceCats against Columbus. River Dragons team that is more built on size and tenacity, where these two teams, Twin City and Petey, anchored heavily off of speed and the counterattack. We've seen that. Patrick Marcinkiewicz, his first goal was an example of it. Yuri Peshtuka take the draw for Twin City against Chance Adrian. Peshtuka wins the draw. IceCats look to clear the defensive end as it comes to Dustin Gisso. Couldn't garner a strong enough of a clearance. Jan Salak, for the moment, looked to keep the puck in the attacking end for Twin City. IceCats with possession with Trevor Lord send the puck on down to Twin City goaltender and Boris Babik. He leaves for Adam Zimmerman. Twin City struggling to leave their own end before the IceCats. Nick McGill-Diaz, home run pass for Trevor Lord, missed everybody. This goes for icing with 15:46 to go in the second period, and a 2-1 lead for the visitors from the PD region. So a 2-1 lead for the IceCats, where chances of grade A quality have yet to come. But knowing the pace of these two teams, factors to be only a matter of time. Out high, it goes to Farmer. Puck that stung Gus Ford. IceCats send one into their own protection. Dustin Gisso launches one end over end, where it can be played by James Farmer in the Twin City zone. This is Zach White. Gains the red and the white. Red and the blue line out for Nick Gullo. He sent it in. IceCats in need to go on a change, which they do. The twin line comes on for the IceCats. Inching our way through the quarter mark of the second period with 5 minutes played. Farmer dropped it to Ford. Kramer missed the net. Gonzalez got a piece of it. Here's Zach White. Blocked by Popoff behind the goal to Gus Ford. Cute angle for Kramer. Back to Ford below the goal line. Kramer a shot, and Gonzalez read it brilliantly. Away goes Houston Wilson with the Twins on either wing. Here's Patrick Marcinkiewicz to his brother Dominic, and he hit the goal post. Patrick Marcinkiewicz again. A one-timer from Dominic, and another save made by Babbitt. White stapled to the wall by Patrick Marcinkiewicz, and Gus Ford rides him down, and Patrick Marcinkiewicz wants a piece of Gus Ford, and the officials cave in after the wild sequence. Gus Ford with the heavy hit, and Ford still wants a piece of Patrick Marcinkiewicz. And they hope to settle their differences, and instead, the MVP from 3 years ago, destined for a trip to the penalty box, partnered by Sonic, Patrick Marcinkiewicz, heads in to the box, partnered by Sean Austin Remax. All this taking place in a wild sequence that brings us to immediate timeout. 14:28 remaining in the second period. All this during the media stoppage
if everything pans out, you would assume at the worst case scenario for the IceCats would be skater aside for either team. It would appear that Gus Ford may have instigated this. All this without the benefit of replay. So the officials, they saw it. They'll make the ruling from what they saw. All this as we head into a media timeout, and we'll take a break ourselves with the score, the IceCats 2 and the Twin City Thunderbirds 1. Back after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
Hey, grab me one too.
Hey, let's go.
Back on the IceCats Broadcast Network, where in the end, Patrick Marcinkiewicz in the box, and also Noah Hippo, Lyle Smith, brings the IceCats to the power play, partnered by Chick-fil-A. So Gus Ford in the box, Hippolyte Smith also in the penalty box, a minor penalty charged to Gus Ford. So 2 Thunderbirds in the box, all this with 14:28 remaining in the second period. The officials, in the midst of the entirety of the media timeout, hoping to solve what was going on with the penalties. Referee speaking with Patrick Marcinkiewicz. So there are 2 penalties on the scoreboard, one that cannot be read with you at home. Have to take our word for it in good faith for those watching online and for those listening on radio on 100.5 The Game. So as we await, IceCats, their power play setup that includes Skate Scaldi, new addition to the team, along with Houston Wilson, Chance Adrian, and Dominic Marcinkiewicz with his twin brother in the box. Lone defenseman for the IceCats is that of Konstantin Chernak. And he had the primary assist, first goal in team history, just 8 days ago. Twin City for their penalty kill, including John Butita, the assistant coach, also serving as team captain, along with the penalty kill unit that includes Nate Keeley, Dion Demke, and Don Carter Jr. So we continue to wait. Officials looking to resolve all that has gone on. And so we continue to wait. One official is still at the scorer's table. Another is in conversation with Houston Wilson. And that's to the right of those watching online. You see one of them on your screen, speaking with John Butita. Well experienced, not only as a player, but serving as assistant coach. 18 goals, 21 assists last season for Twin City. Them on their way to a Commissioner's Cup finalist spot for the 3rd straight season. Them with the coinage of the Carolina Thunderbirds. They changed their name this year and changed their logo. So a dawning of a new era for the Thunderbirds of once Carolina
And now Twin City. All this with 14:28 to go in the second period. So the face-off in the end to take place to the right of netminder for Twin City and Boris Babic. Chance Adrian to take the draw against Nate Keeley. Face-off one back to Konstantin Chernak. Out high for Houston Wilson, right point. A bid that Babic was able to block her away into the left corner. Chernak has it again to Houston Wilson. Back to Chernak up high. Patrick Marcinkiewicz, or rather Dominic's with the chance towards goal. Babic makes the save. 14:10 to go in the second period. 17 seconds elapsed on the IceCats power play. Chance Adrian. Nate Keeley duel again. Adrian wins the draw back to Konstantin Chernak. Wilson again. Down low. Adrian shooting one. Save made by Babic. Left wing corner. Dominic Marcinkiewicz from the left circle. Out high for Konstantin Chernak, who works through the middle. Houston Wilson slings one towards goal. And a collision with Babic. He's down. Long bid missed by Dominic Marcinkiewicz. And off the miss, the IceCats forced a retrieve for the loose puck. 1:15 to go in the power play. Houston Wilson gains a line for the IceCats from left circle to Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Konstantin Chernak, left point, awaiting. He's got Houston Wilson from the right point. He has the puck. Wilson to Chernak through the middle. Dominic Marcinkiewicz to Wilson, right circle. Adrian from behind the goal line to Wilson again. He turns and fires one, missed everything. From the left point, Chernak looks to keep it in play. Houston Wilson does. He sends one towards the right corner. Chance Adrian awaits. 45 seconds ago on the power play. Tip towards goal and missed off the chance that came out high. Chernak has it again to Chance Adrian. He awaits. Chernak again. Tip towards goal. Here is Skates. Shalak, rather outside. Left side. Here's Dominic Marcinkiewicz, who can't keep the zone. IceCats forced to regroup with 20 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Skate Scaldi on the drive. And his first game with the IceCats. Down low, Dominic Marcinkiewicz with Trevor Lord awaiting. Backhander pass broken up by Butita and sent on down with 5 seconds to go in the power play for the IceCats. Timur Razulov goes for a spin with Zach White impending. McGill Diaz dished it. Nobody home for Twin City as the Thunderbirds to full strength. White from behind the goal line. McGill Diaz for the IceCats. Keeley peels away from the pressure from the IceCats captain. Farmer potentially below the goal line for Zach White. 8 minutes played in the second period. 2-1 lead for the IceCats. No scoring yet in period number 2. Here's Dustin Gisso. Broken up by Zimmerman. Gisso has the puck though. He turns and gives Razulov left-handed shot. Blockered away by Boris Babic and into the protective netting. 11:48 to go in the second. With a 2-1 lead for the IceCats. And the IceCats broadcast network. Games broadcasted on a YouTube and additionally on 100.5 The Game. Certainly more stations to follow here on the IceCats broadcast network down the road as the season goes along. Here comes Twin City out into the neutral zone. Facing a 2-1 deficit. Jordan Popoff races after the puck. Adam Zimmerman for Twin City also engages. Johnson looks to lead on Dustin Gisso. Backhander in the direction of Trevor Lord. Taken away by James Farmer. And Twin City with the puck. Michael Mania. Ridden hard by Jordan Popoff. Gotten across to Trevor Lord. Playing the body of Yuri Peshtuka. With Twin City hoping to keep the zone without much offensive pressure. And instead, Garrett Johnson gives towards the left side. The IceCats look to break out. White, brilliant pass. Kramer below the goal line to the front. What a save by Gonzalez. He has been sensational. Twin City still in harm's way. Trevor Lord looks to leave the end. Defensive side for the IceCats. Twin City with pressure still. Sherbakov lost the puck. Johnson takes a tumble thanks to Zach White. Twin City back out high. Keeley, his soft pass, finally tipped out of the defensive end thanks to Garrett Johnson. Much relief needed for the IceCats with the long change. 10:25 to go in the second period. Here is a play from Skate Scaldi, and that is ramped out of play, rather, in a haltage with 10:19 to go. Face-off to take place to the left. Boris Babik, and all this with both Gus Ford and Patrick Marcinkiewicz remaining in the box. Certainly an adjustment to the forward lines for both the Thunderbirds and the IceCats. Chance Adrian, center's third line is on. Razulov off the face-off win from Adrian. Scaldi off the return bid. Chernak potentially towards the left corner with Bowie Slarks. Got a piece of the puck. Instead, Twin City looks to race on out. Glazer, the IceCats looking to lead ahead. Overskated by Scaldi, and Twin City gains the attacking zone and send it in with Ryan Glazer. Defensive end. IceCats hope to clear the puck. Butita, Glazer to the front of the net mouth. Instead, cleared by Chance Adrian all the way down. No icing. Twin City looks to ramp up the rush. Past the halfway mark of the second period. 2-1 lead for the IceCats. In comes Roman Kramer below the goal line, looking to tether it past Nate Keeley. IceCats bring the puck out of their defensive end. And away goes Houston Wilson, driving with Nick McGill-Diaz, who joins the rush. Puck ramped up to the protective netting and out of play with 9:21 to go in the second period. Gives us a chance to thank our proud partners with the PD IceCats, which includes Jim Hoffmeyer and their law firm. Proud partner of the PD IceCats, M&M Printing. Huge in making plenty of graphics into what they are. M&M Printing, one of the proud sponsors of the PD IceCats. Hometown Floor Coverings, which authoritates the dressing room carpet that is made for the IceCats. And certainly, IceCats wouldn't be who they are today without a great dressing room carpet. Zapata's Grill, Seminar Brewing, Tomlinson Sales Company, another one of our proud partners for making our apparel. As the IceCats faithful, plenty have made the trip to Twin City. Few of the fan base have made their way, few of them which stepping by the broadcast booth. Always great to see fans from the PD region making 3-hour trip up north. And that's one of the benefits of the IceCats schedule, although they have the toughest schedule in the league. 54 of 56 games against teams that made the playoffs last season. They have the most friendly traveling schedule. Only one long haul of a road trip, that coming in January, previously mentioned, against Binghamton. IceCats win the draw. Back to Nick McGill-Diaz. Right side with Patrick Marcinkiewicz released from the box. Passed through the net mouth and missed everybody. Dominic Marcinkiewicz in a race with Nate Keeley, who has the puck. Keeley centering pass in front, and Gonzalez made the save. He looks for the puck, and it went into the protective netting, much to the relief of Ricardo Gonzalez. 9:04 to go in the second, with shots on goal even at 14-14. Twin City with a face-off take place to left of Ricardo Gonzalez's goal. Plenty of chances generated, but defense has certainly been the story of period number 2. Head coach Gary Graham, during the coaches show this week, he said he liked his team's performance in the 3-2 shootout loss as opposed to the 7-5 victory. And for our new fans, coaches tend to like those low-scoring games because they're more structured. If there are a lot of goals scored, typically at times, well, it's about the goals being scored that the coach is not too fond about. Certainly understandable.
from the coaching perspective, they tend to prefer a 2-1, 3-2 type of a game, not the 7-5 or 6-4 track meets that we've seen within last few games. And our referee certainly in a discussion with both captains. Certainly a dialogue takes place of where the lines are drawn, how the game is officiated. Both captains with understandings what was said, report the news to their team. Nick Miguel-Diaz watches the face-off between Chance Adrian and Nate Keeley. Keeley wins it for Twin City with Thunderbirds in the attacking zone. But the IceCats break out through the neutral area for Nick Miguel-Diaz, hoping to find Eli Rivers. IceCats chip and chase. However, they are called for icing with 8:49 to go in the second period. But this icing with new skaters on for PD, not too much of a concern in that regard. Still not optimal to have attacking zone draw for Twin City, you may figure. Well, this with 8:49 to go, 2-1 lead for the PD IceCats, the Twin City Thunderbirds. Keeley against Chance Adrian. Keeley wins the draw. Zimmerman through traffic, and Gonzalez with an incredible save. Great vision, and a skirmish breaks out in front of the IceCats goal. Bowie Slarks has taken down Roman Kramer, and the officials immediately cave in, and they look to settle this dispute quickly. It was that much of a hurry. Bowie Slarks was in the mix over something that was done. So Slarks in the mix, and he is still chirping against Zach White. Certainly Zach White, one of the key stars. And all this with 8:44 to go in the second. Calmer heads for what the officials, and to quite a degree both teams, hope to prevail, and time to focus on the hockey. In the midst of all of this, in the box during this time was Gus Ford. Reminder, he is one of the superstars for Twin City. In the penalty box, presented by Sonic. Shots on goal, favor Twin City, 15-14. And 8:44 to go. Plenty of structure for the IceCats so far. A promising sign of a team that is one through last two games, finding ways to win, but also cleaning up their game and finding their identity, you would seem. Off the face-off, Twin City heads in on the attack towards the right wing corner. Miguel-Diaz looks to clear the zone. Zimmerman out high, tipped towards traffic. Kramer in the vicinity, but instead, Ricardo Gonzalez melts play down with 8:30 to go. Bowie Slarks is again in a mix-up, but this time nothing of penalty implications seemingly has taken place. And again, play is stopped. Trevor Lord's offensive line heads out, along with Dustin Giseau and Nick Gullo, who centers that forward line. But Bowie Slarks certainly has given Twin City an earful, it would seem. Not taking great pleasure to what he said. Twin City wins the draw. Back to Don Carter Jr. Point blank, a shot. Save made. Gonzalez with the rebound and heads into the left wing corner. Yuri Peshtuka. Lord got a piece of the puck. Carter through traffic, blocked on its way towards the goal. Here's Jan Salak. Left wing corner. Konstantin Shernuk. He blows an edge with Salak working down low. Centering pass to the front. They score! Jan Salak
through the 5-hole, and Twin City has tied the game. Persistence pays off for Jan Salak. And sometimes it's not the prettiest of goals. Salak with the tally. That goes into the books as his second goal of the season. That makes it a 2-2 game. So both 16s, Trevor Lord for the IceCats, Jan Salak for Twin City, have scored. 2-2 deadlock. Nate Keeley with pressure from Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Patricks plays towards Jordan Popoff. Clearing attempt, Zach White. Launched ahead, though, for Dominic Marcinkiewicz. To Houston and Wilson, left circle. One-timer and a save made by Babic. Left side, Dominic Marcinkiewicz, a shot. Blocked on his way towards the goal, and Babic covers with Houston and Wilson impending. 7:32 to go in the second, and a 2-2 deadlock. So the goal from Jan Salak, second goal of the season, and that's another reason why Twin City certainly seems to be a contender in this league for quite a while. But if anything can be displayed from this weekend, seem as if the IceCats can be impending to be mentioned in the same breath for now. See how things play out. IceCats have looked strong up to this point. Here's Jordan Popoff. Right side for Skate Skaldy from around the horn. Timur Razulov with Sergei Sherbakov hoping to vacate the defensive end for Twin City. Don Carter Jr. from behind the goal line. And there's Bowie Slarks in there again, looking to go to work. Sergei Sherbakov. Ahead for Noah Hippa, Lyle Smith. Through the middle. Right back to him. Couldn't escort a shot on Ricardo Gonzalez. Slarks and Popoff in the corner. And a penalty on the way. And a mix-up with Chance Adrian and Noah Hippa, Lyle Smith. The officials immediately look to settle the dispute. Everyone grabbing a partner with no serious repercussions. Skate Skaldy, the newcomer, with Ryan Glazer, for those watching outside of your screen. All this with 6:48 to go in the second period amidst a 2-2 tie. To the box goes Noah Hippa, Lyle Smith. Presented by Sonic. Chance Adrian. He's involved with the mix-up with a Twin City defenseman. He heads into the penalty box, presented by Sean Austin Remax. So both in their respective penalty boxes. And again, the captains for either side. Twin City and John Butita and Nick McGill-Diaz for the IceCats. Again, another discussion. And if that continues, we'll see a lot of the shot that folks watching on YouTube will see. Again, 6:48 to go. Second period, 2-2 tie between the IceCats and Twin City Thunderbirds. It does give us the opportunity to thank proud partners of the PD IceCats, Gorget Distilling, Paul Meadows Smiles, Orange Theory, Tomlinson Sales Company, Evening Shade, Integrative Health Solutions, Damasimo's Restaurant, and Something to Remember. This has been happening since second period with a lot of mix-ups, and the chippiness is starting to play itself out. These teams are scheduled to play 13 times this year. So you have to imagine this familiarity can lead to contempt. This is only game 2 of the 13 games matchup between Twin City and PD. Butita, John Butita, team captain, does not seem too fond of the result of discussion from the officiating crew. Nick McGill-Diaz to report the news to the IceCats faithful. 6:48 to go. Gives us the time to remind you, coming up next week on Friday, the IceCats return home, take on the Athens Rock Lobsters in Hometown Heroes Week. And a weekend that is dedicated for our first responders and municipal workers. Special ticket offer is in play. 3 tickets for $45. Email us at tickets@pdprohockey.com for your chance on the offer. That's next Friday. Puck drop scheduled at 7:15. Long season, 56 games. The majority of the home games, well, in fact, all but 2 of them, so 26 of them, if my math is correct. My producer, Aiden, a resounding nod. Special thank you to Aiden Mulholland, our producer, pushing the buttons and managing the scorebug that you can see for those watching online. Certainly, huge engineer into what the IceCats broadcast network is. Face-off to take place to the left of IceCats goaltender Ricardo Gonzalez, with both teams skating with 5 aside. Chance Adrian in the box for the IceCats. And Noah Hippa Lyle Smith for Twin City with 6:48 to go in the second, and we're back in play. Off the face-off, Houston Wilson looks to lead on the IceCats rush. He works against the grain through the middle. Houston Wilson sending one on goal. Babick punches one into the corner. Twin City looks to break out. Stretch pass. Head of Yuri Peshtuka, gaining line Michael Mania. Here's Peshtuka working to the backhand. McGill-Diaz sealed off the angle. Houston Wilson with Dominic Marcinkiewicz gaining the red line. Here's Patrick Marcinkiewicz to Konstantin Sherduk towards the goal. And the save made by Boris Babick. And there is no skirmish at the end of it with 6:15 to go in the second, and a 2-2 deadlock. Calmer heads seemingly prevail. IceCats bring on the forward line of Nick Gullo, which includes Dustin Gisso and Trevor Lord. Well, instead, no Dustin Gisso in this forward line. Head coach Gary Graham switching up the lines. Instead, Eli Smith serves as the left winger. Face off. So here's Nick Gullo. Jordan Popoff heads to the penalty box. 6:15 to go. But the IceCats still at full strength. Why Popoff is being sent to the box presented by Sean Austin Remax may have been for substitutionary reasons. Hope for confirmation later on, but away we go. 6:13 to go in the second and a 2-2 tie. Adam Zimmerman for Twin City. Fanned on by Trevor Lord. This is Gus Ford. He spent a huge portion of the second period in the box after a fight. Here's Trevor Lord to Gullo. Hit by Kramer. Don Carter Jr. got it across for Zach White. Razulov with Eli Rivers back for Razulov. He plays catch with Garrett Johnson. 5:40 to go in the second and a 2-2 tie. White gives to Gus Ford. Gaining a line against the grain. Behind the goal line, Ford. Centering pass for Zimmerman. Potentially wide towards the right wing corner. Here's Garrett Johnson for the IceCats. Tipped it along for Trevor Lord. IceCats fail to vacate the zone. Zach White from the right corner. Look to find Kramer. Centering pass! They score! Gus Ford. 3-2. Twin City. The forward line for Twin City. Gus Ford, Zach White, Roman Kramer come through for Twin City. And the hometown Thunderbirds lead 3-2. How will the IceCats respond? Sergei Sherbakov banged off the glass. Away goes Ryan Glazer. Butita carried the puck in offside with 4:53 to go in the second period, with Twin City with a 3-2 lead. Face-off to take place outside of the IceCats defending area, and heading to the box for the IceCats is Skate Scaldi. Immediate timeout. We'll take a break. Be back after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
Hey, grab me one too.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
Hey, let's go.
Back on the IceCats Broadcast Network from Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. Danny Bach, pleasure to be with you here this evening, where Skate Scaldi is taking a minor penalty. He's in the penalty box, partnered by Sean Austin Remax off the draw. Don Carter Jr. out high. Pitch towards the slot for Yuri Peshtuka. With the IceCats on the penalty kill, partnered by Bluefish. IT towards the goal. Blocked on its way towards the net. Yuri Peshtuka. Down low, Butita. Defended by McGill Diaz. Patrick Marcinkiewicz looked to spill the attack for Twin City, and that's what he does. Twin City forced to regroup. Penalty kill, partnered by James Hoffmeyer Turney. So here comes Twin City. Keeley. Defended by McGill Diaz into the left wing corner with 4:12 to go in the second period. 1:18 to kill for the IceCats. Peshtuka out high, shooting, save made by Gonzalez. Rebound, save made again by Gonzalez. Loose on the deck behind the goal. Butita, Carter got a piece of it. And away goes Patrick Marcinkiewicz to his brother. Dominic gains the blue line. Short-handed, he takes the tumble. We play on. Here comes Twin City. Don Carter Jr. gains the line for the Thunderbirds of Twin City. Below the goal line, Jan Salak already scored a goal this evening. 45 seconds to go on the power play. Out high, Butita tipped it down low, looking for a tip from Salak. Another chance that missed the net. Butita has it again from the left point. Down low, Kramer winds up, save made, loose on the deck. Gonzalez covers. 30 seconds to go on the power play, and a mix-up to the left of the IceCats goal. Roman Kramer with a WWE takedown. This leads to the stoppage, and the officials have made it a point for extracurricular activity to not melt over. Chance Adrian and Jordan Popoff have vacated the penalty box. That coming from mix-ups earlier. Jordan Popoff, fresh out of the box, heads in to help penalty kill. That sees his new teammate, Skate Scaldi, in the box. 30 seconds to kill for the IceCats. All this with 3:22 remaining in the second period. Twin City with a 3-2 lead.
Goals scored by Jan Salak and Gus Ford. Zach White got the scoring started early for Twin City. And with the scoring distributed the way that Twin City would hope for, 13-game series, have to imagine very competitive bunch in between these two teams. And there is that old adage, iron sharpens iron. For a Twin City team that's had the success that they have and the veterans that the IceCats have, you can imagine a lot of optimism with how strong these two teams will grow throughout the year by playing each other so much. Jordan Popoff, fresh out of being out of the penalty box, heads right back into it. Presented by Sean Austin Remax. Have you ever been wrongly accused? Contact Jim Hoffmeyer, attorney, to help. Proud partner of the penalty kill, along with Bluefish IT Solutions. So plenty of disputes after the whistle. Noah Hippo, Lyle Smith heads in the box in tandem with Jordan Popoff. Sonic, proud partner of Twin City penalty box. As is all the visitors, Houston Wilson looks to soccer the puck. Instead, here's Twin City with Gus Ford. Fresh off of scoring the goal moments ago that gave Twin City a 3-2 lead. Konstantin Chernak played the body well on Ryan Glazer. Puck sponged out towards Boris Babik with 10 seconds to go on the penalty kill. Kramer got it across for Zach White. Turning up speed through the middle. Looking to drop one for Yuri Peshtuka. IceCats to full strength. Eli Rivers dropped to Houston Wilson. Scaldi joins the rush. Wilson towards the goal, intentionally wide. Scaldi has the puck from the left half wall. Chernak can't feel the puck, and here comes Twin City on the move with Zach White. Alone on an island, Nick McGill-Diaz is there. He plays the body well. That gives the IceCats the puck. Scaldi leaves one for Konstantin Chernak. McGill-Diaz stapled to the wall. Here's Skate Scaldi moving into the backhand. Stopped by Babik. He covers with 2:23 to go. Second period, Jordan Popoff and Noah Hippo, Lyle Smith head to their respective benches with 2:23 to go in the second period. 3-2 lead for Twin City on the IceCats. And what has been very well played game. Sure, you have your skirmishes after the whistle. Overall, the IceCats certainly playing toe-to-toe with really good hockey team with Twin City. Here comes the home side. Nate Keeley dishes one. Chip and chase effort for Twin City. Nick McGill-Diaz, rather Jordan Popoff, and the IceCats able to clear. 2 minutes to go in the second period. And a 3-2 lead for Twin City. Thunderbirds rev up the engines across the blue line. Pass for Ryan Glazer. Cleared out from the IceCats. Thanks to Nick Gullo. Jan Salak tipped one in to allow Twin City to go on a change. Reminder, long change in the second period. Don Carter Jr. heads back for the loose disc for Twin City. Wilson steals the puck along with Patrick Marcinkiewicz and Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Good defensive play from Gus Ford. Here's Garrett Johnson leading the rush. Patrick Marcinkiewicz settles the bouncing puck. Houston Wilson from the right wing corner. Centering pass and a chance point blank miss by Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Out high, Nick McGill-Diaz. Out high to Garrett Johnson. Tipped off the stick of Zach White. Patrick Marcinkiewicz to Houston Wilson. Centering bid, stolen away. Zach White looking to rev up the engines. And the IceCats enter in with Nick McGill-Diaz, however, on a delayed offside before Twin City clears out to the neutral zone. Nick McGill-Diaz with 47 seconds to go in the second period, able to ice the puck for the IceCats after some end-to-end action. And with the icing call, Petey brings out Chance Adrian forward line that includes Bowie Slarks. If any player has certainly made a name for themselves tonight, Bowie Slarks is that guy. Certainly one that larger than life at times when you meet him in person, but one of the nicest individuals you could meet, Bowie Slarks. Chance Adrian take the attacking zone draw from the left faceoff dot, and he's thrown out. Allows Eli Rivers step in. Gus Ford wins the draw for Twin City with 40 seconds to go in the second. Got it across. Kramer couldn't harness the pass. Chance Adrian sent one in with 30 seconds and change remaining in the second period. Kramer ahead for Don Carter Jr. Across the red line. Twin City looks to chip the puck in. And away goes Bowie Slarks. Left side, shooting one. Stoned down by Boris Babick. And away goes Twin City. Gus Ford with Zach White. White in the clear. What a stop by Gonzalez. An absolute larceny from Ricardo Gonzalez. My goodness. With 5.7 to go in the second period. It's hard to choose which is the best save from Ricardo Gonzalez. There have been so many of them tonight. That one point blank, one-on-one with Zach White, who took the snapshot. The IceCats goaltender comes up massive. With 4 seconds remaining in the period, Patrick Marcinkevich's one last bid on Boris Babick. That closes out the second period. Twin City, though, 3-2 lead on the IceCats. You are listening and watching the IceCats Broadcast Network on 100.5 The Game, WWFN, Florence, and online on the IceCats Broadcast Network on YouTube. 3-2 lead for Twin City on the PD IceCats, with the visitors with work to do. They will talk it over in the dressing room. We'll be back after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Stanley Steamer. Stanley Steamer of Florence provides professional deep cleaning services and comprehensive care for a cleaner, healthier home. Butler's Men's Shop, your one-stop shop for men. Everything from tuxedos and suits to sportswear. We have it all. Integrative Health Solutions, your partners in health.
We back. Let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brother, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 of my boon that the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stink, I can't even sniff.
Open the sky with a wristlet diff. Funny banter instead of...
Ding dong.
Mountain dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Evening Shade Incorporated. Trusted team with over 2 decades of experience. Gorget Distilling Company. Revolutionize your spirit. The Law Office of W. James Hoffmeyer. Serving South Carolina since 1992. Kimbrell's Furniture. Affordable home furnishings. You're watching.
In the heart of Florence, South Carolina, discover Palmetto Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental care, led by Dr. Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education and bringing the latest methods to every patient. At Palmetto Smiles, comprehensive dentistry is under one roof: general care, restorative solutions, TMJ therapy, delivered with compassion. Ready for a healthier, more beautiful smile? Call 843-203-5155 or visit palmettosmiles.com. Dr.
Hey, grab me one too.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
Hey, let's go.
From Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena, within the backdrop of Wake Forest University football stadium, directly behind us. But inside the arena of Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena, a 3-2 scoreline with Twin City out in front of the visiting PD IceCats. A look at the shots on goal in the second period favored Twin City by a count of 14-12. After the IceCats saw Twin City plenty of shot volume, they outshot the IceCats 10-7 in period number one. But however, as far as shots on goal, 2 of them went in for Twin City. And after 10 minutes where the IceCats had played a sound defensive game, it all started with, for Twin City, with Jan Salak on a play where it was a workmanlike effort where the forecheck can lead directly to goals. And that's what happened with Salak scoring the goal. The assists go to Yuri Peshtuka and Michael Manian, and what was a true workmanlike goal. That goal at 11:56 tied up the game for Twin City. And then the response came moments later, where Thunderbirds able to tally a goal 2 minutes and 51 seconds after they had tied the game. Gus Ford scores for Twin City, scoring a goal that went through the 5-hole of Ricardo Gonzalez. The assists go to Roman Kramer and Zach White, who already had a goal this evening. Roman Kramer also with another point. He has 2 assists on the evening. But for storyline for this game up to this point, the IceCats have played a sound game, but the question at hand for them is, against a stout team, chance for chance. This also brings us an opportunity to highlight social medias for the PD IceCats, including Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. That's the best way to stay up to date on the IceCats. That is the story. But at this point, 3-2 lead for Twin City does give us a chance to thank one of our proud partners with the PD IceCats in MUSC. Huge part of the training staff for the IceCats. Certainly an engineer into making a team for the PD region in the best of health. But 3-2 lead, big questions
for what the third period will bring about, but one question mark that is definitely not one is that of Ricardo Gonzalez. Incredible point-blank saves off of Twin City rushes, including one late in the second period where that's one that will be relived for an awful long time, a point-blank glove save off a breaking John Butita. As Gonzalez has made, up to this stage, 21 saves in the contest. Certainly not the same shot volume to some degree as the last two games that the IceCats have had, where they were scoring circuses, you could say, with how the game was end-to-end in many ways. That leads us to where we're at after 40 minutes of play with a third period still to follow. Gives us an opportunity to take a look at some of the scores in the Federal Prospects Hockey League and some of the games taking place this evening. Danbury and Binghamton, they're in the first period, and there is no score between two contenders in the Empire Division. However, in Port Huron, Watertown, in a matchup against the home side from Port Huron, they are deadlocked at one apiece in the second period. Blue Ridge Bobcats, they are set to face the IceCats a week from today on the road in Wytheville, Virginia. Last night, Columbus with coming on the short end of things against Blue Ridge with the hometown Bobcats winning 4-2. This time in the first period, a different story. Columbus with a 3-0 lead in the first period on Blue Ridge. So certainly another example of how competitive the Continental Division factors to be. Plenty of teams certainly within contending status, and Columbus, you have to imagine, going to be in that mix. So is Blue Ridge. But teams in this division certainly not willing to give an inch. The Indiana Sentinels, yesterday, losers to Athens by a count of 10-0. Different story, first period. Athens and Indiana tied at 2 goals apiece, that being in the first period. But for Baton Rouge and Monroe, that is a game that is set to kickstart moments from now. But that is the story so far. As we take a look more in depth of the Columbus and Blue Ridge scoreline, with Columbus leading Blue Ridge at this point 3-1. Blue Ridge scoring moments ago. But for Columbus, goals scored by a man familiar for the IceCats faithful. Kevin Sabat scored the opening goal. He has been on a tear. Him only a defenseman, but boy, he has been scoring in quite a bit. But for Kevin Sabat, scoring at 3:23, 5:29, Josh Colton responded for Columbus, make a 2-0 lead for the River Dragons. And then on the power play, Tyler Barrow scoring on the power play, make it a 3-0 lead for Columbus. Blue Ridge, Nick Stuckless scores that a power play goal for Blue Ridge. 3-1 lead for Columbus. They're playing in the first period. That's a look at the score lines throughout Federal Prospects Hockey League. But it has been a very physical game. A lot of questions for the physicality. You saw Jackson LeGros head into the dressing room, and yet to see him, as we hope for the best for him, he was carried off by Nick McGill-Diaz into the dressing room. That's where we stand at this point within second intermission. Take a look at some scores around sporting world. College football, of course, being Saturday, plenty of major games on the docket, including one over in Tuscaloosa as Tennessee and Alabama locking horns. Tennessee 11th ranked in the nation, Alabama in 6th, and it's the Crimson Tide with a 7-0 lead on the Volunteers. Texas A&M outgunning Arkansas, a count of 38-27. They're in the fourth quarter with 13:49 left in it. USC and Notre Dame, always a classic match of those teams, have locked horns for a number of years in important games. USC, the 20th ranked team in the nation, with
10-7 lead on the defending national champion runners-up in Notre Dame, that being on the road in South Bend. Missouri trailing Auburn by a count of 7-0. And other scores of note, South Carolina Gamecocks in action against nationally ranked Oklahoma. And it was the Sooners that came away with the victory on South Carolina by a count of 26-7. In what was a case where South Carolina ran into a buzzsaw in the Oklahoma defense, and certainly they have played well, the Sooners, especially being in the SEC. Other scores within college football. Last night, Louisville, victor against number 2 ranked Miami on the road by a count of 24-21. Major upset. Carson Beck for Miami. He completed 25 of his 35 passes thrown, 271 yards. The one problem that hurt Miami, 4 interceptions. And it's tough to win in football with 4 interceptions in a game. Other scores of note, Oregon and Rutgers for Big Ten faithful paying attention. Oregon 42-3 lead on Rutgers. Virginia, 18th ranked in the nation, playing Washington State. And it's the Cougars from Pullman. Washington State with a 17-7 lead on the Virginia Cavaliers. So plenty of score lines to report, especially on this college football Saturday. Other ACC scores to pay attention to. In the first quarter, Pittsburgh 7-0 lead on Syracuse. Florida State in the nightcap on the road to take on the Cardinal of Stanford on the road. Georgia Tech 27-18 victors against Duke. That game with many ACC playoff implications, but Georgia Tech comes away with a road victory over the Duke Blue Devils. UConn against Boston College, and it was the Huskies 38-23 win on the road against the Golden Eagles of Boston College. And matchup, Clemson at home taking on Southern Methodist University. SMU with a road victory, 35-24, as they come away with a win against the Clemson team that certainly is years behind after their recent success in the college football playoff in the more near of times. But certainly Clemson with quite the coaching staff with Dabo Swinney. You have to imagine things can certainly change on the Clemson end of the equation. Let's look at the scores for college football. Gives us a chance to thank more of our partners of the PD IceCats, including Sean Austin Remax, Orange Theory, Chick-fil-A, Power Properties, Gorget Distilling, Jim Hoffmeyer's Law Office, XGen Cryo, M&M Printing, Sports Clips, McLeod Health and Fitness, Stanley Steamer, Pepsi of Florence, Evening Shade, Hertz of Florence, Kimbrell's Furniture, Hometown of Flora Coverings, along with Tomlinson Sales Company, Integrative Health Solutions, Zapata's Grill, Something to Remember, Margarita's Restaurant, Tomasimo, Seminar Brewing, and Zapata's Grill. Proud partners of the PD IceCats. Also, coming up next on Monday night at 7 o'clock local time, the Coaches Show. With yours truly alongside the head coach of the PD IceCats, Gary Graham. Recap the weekend and some of the standout storylines. And also interview with an IceCats player to be named later on. That coming up on Monday at 7 o'clock. And also a reminder for what's happening with the IceCats next Friday. The IceCats return home to the Florence Center and take on the Athens Rock Lobsters. Puck drop is at 7:15 in what is Hometown Heroes Night with a special promotion for our first responders and those working within the municipality workers. Special ticket offer of 3 tickets for $45. Email us at tickets@pdprohockey for more information. A look at NHL scores before we begin the third period of play. Scores that have already gone final in the NHL. New Jersey Devils outlasted the Edmonton Oilers by a count of 5-3. And that a story where New Jersey Devils is a team that certainly can be red hot to begin the year. We'll see if that continues into long sustained success. For New Jersey, Jack Hughes, after being injured to close out last season, he scores 2 goals and also adds a helper. New York Islanders, 5-4 winners on the road thanks to 2 goals scored in the third period. They beat the Ottawa Senators by a count of 5-4. And the Buffalo Sabres, with new goaltender Alex Lyon, 32-save shutout. Sabres winner against the Florida Panthers, 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. Games happening at the moment. Seattle Kraken on the road facing the Toronto Maple Leafs. Morgan Riley with the lone goal for Toronto. Shane Wright for Seattle. 1-1 tie, 13:45 to go in the second period. Over in one of the palaces for hockey in Montreal, it's the Canadiens of a 2-1 lead over the New York Rangers. Nick Suzuki and Uri Slafkovsky with goals for Montreal. Mika Zibanejad for the Rangers with a lone tally. 4 minutes played in the second period. Montreal up 2-1. Over in the city of brotherly love, Vladimir Tarasenko with a lone goal for the Minnesota Wild. They lead the Philadelphia Flyers by a count of 1-0. Over in Columbus, Tampa Bay Lightning on the road to Ohio, where the Lightning lead Columbus. 6 minutes played in the second period, 2-1. Goals from Ryan McDonough and Anthony Cirelli for Tampa, with Kent Johnson the lone goal for Columbus. Over Gateway to the west, St. Louis Blues hosting the Dallas Stars. Jordan Kyrou the lone goal midway through the second period. St. Louis leads Dallas 1-0. They just started the second period over in Winnipeg, and it's the Jets with a 2-0 lead on the Predators. Nino Niederreiter and Mark Scheifele with the goals for the Jets. Still to come, Boston Bruins on the road. Ball Arena in Denver to take on the Colorado Avalanche. And the Carolina Hurricanes on the road to take on the Los Angeles Kings. Hurricanes 4-0 to begin the year. Calgary is on the road against Vegas. That's to get underway at 10 o'clock, as is the Pittsburgh Penguins on the road to take on the San Jose Sharks. Let's look at the NHL scores. Also, Major League Baseball, no action tonight. Seattle Mariners won last night in Game 5 with grand slam from Eugenio Suarez that opened the door for Seattle to head to Toronto, leading 3-2. And the LA Dodgers clinched a repeat trip to the World Series with a sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers, winning 5-1 last night. Shohei Ohtani, he hit 3 home runs and also had an incredible pitching outing. So he can do it all. But that's the story. World of sports. Third period about to commence. Third period is presented by Pepsi of Florence. And away we go to begin the third period. IceCats need at least a goal to deadlock the game. However, Twin City goes to work on the attack. Houston Wilson got it to Dominic Marcinkiewicz. Round the horn it goes. First one to it, Sergei Shabakov for Twin City. Thunderbirds in on the attack from the left wing corner. They look to fish the puck out. Jan Salak, Patrick Marcinkiewicz got it away for Timur Razulov. IceCats gain the line. Dominic Marcinkiewicz dropped it to Jordan Popoff. And on the pass to Houston Wilson from the right half wall. Got it in the slot. Marcinkiewicz, Dominic that is, intentionally wide off the back glass. And launched out thanks to Don Carter Jr., the length of the ice, which goes for icing early in the third period. Twin City with a 3-2 lead on the visitors from the PD region. So we'll see how the IceCats can respond out of the gate. They have defended well in this game, but they hope to be rewarded. On the offensive side, Trevor Lord scored late in the first period. He's on the ice. Chance Adrian on the draw. The linesman took a tumble. Meanwhile, here's Lord shooting, missed the net. Eli Rivers played the puck out high for Nick McGill-Diaz. Down low, Rivers within the vicinity for the IceCats. Moved along, Rivers below the goal line. Chance Adrian hopes to win the puck, and instead he loses his stick thanks to Sergei Shabakov. That leads to a penalty. And this sends Sergei Shabakov to the penalty box, presented by Sonic. Brings the IceCats to the power play, partnered by Chick-fil-A. Face off to the left Twin City goaltender Boris Babick. IceCats bring on for the power play Dustin Gisso. Face-off circle. First face-off to take place on the left circle at this point. Off the draw to be taken by Dustin Gisso. IceCats bring Nick Gullo, Eli Rivers, Trevor Lord, and Nick McGill-Diaz for the power play. Again, we saw a lot of extracurricular activity through the middle stages of the second period. Does the focus shift towards the game at hand and the potential 3 points at stake? A regulation win in the Federal Prospects Hockey League awards you 3 points in the standings. Should you win in overtime, that's 2 points in the standings. If you were to lose in overtime or a shootout, that's 1 point. And lost in regulation, well, we know how many points you earn with that. 0. Makes sense. All this while we wait for the power play to ensue. And the officials talk to the scorer's table. Gives us a chance. Bring you a scoring update. First intermission between Columbus and Blue Ridge. 3-2 the lead for the visiting River Dragons in Wytheville. IceCats to the power play. Opening minute of the third period. Launched out by Zach White in direction of Gus Ford, who has the puck. Gus Ford downhill! High riser that missed everything. Dion Demke with Gus Ford with Twin City short-handed. Send the puck on down. The IceCats on the power play that hasn't had a chance to pick up the lunch bucket. Here's Nick McGill-Diaz. IceCats look to do just that. Trevor Lord across for Dustin Gisso, who gains the line, launches the puck behind the Twin City goal line. And the IceCats battle for the loose disc. Trevor Lord takes a tumble. And they battle right wing corner. Gisso floated a pass for Nick McGill-Diaz with plenty of pressure from Twin City. That forces the IceCats to regroup halfway through the power play for the IceCats. 2 minutes and change played in the third period. Here's Nick McGill-Diaz. He goes for a spin to Dominic Marcinkiewicz and a steal almost. John Butita able to generate the theft. And Twin City to kill more power play time for the IceCats and send it on down. 35 seconds remaining in the minors. Served by Sergei Sherbakov. Here's Houston Wilson. Chance Adrian gains the red line for the IceCats. Wilson through the middle. Got it to Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Chernak, far wing. Dominic Marcinkiewicz foiled on the pass. He regarners possession out high for Konstantin Chernak. Patrick Marcinkiewicz awaits, turns, drives towards the net. Snared and covered by Boris Babick. With 16:50 remaining in the third period, 3-2 lead for Twin City. And this with 4 seconds remaining on the IceCats power play. In reality, no matter the result in this third period, a lot to like through the first 2 periods for the IceCats. Eli Rivers looking for something he also hopes to like. Jordan Popoff straight towards goal. Watched into the corner by Babick. Power play comes to an end for the IceCats. The Twin City at full strength. Roman Kramer gains a line with Sergei Sherbakov joining the rush. Glove save from Ricardo Gonzalez to build play with 16:31 to go. Twin City still with a 3-2 lead. Face-off to take place to the left. The IceCats goaltender, who has started every game so far this season. Matthew Sales waiting for his opportunity off the face-off. Eli Rivers can't shield the puck. Here's Zach White looking for a tip towards the goal with the lurking Gus Ford. Here is Jordan Popoff. Out for Bowie Slarks from the right wing side. Slarks gains the line for the IceCats. Into the corner skates Skoldy. Overskated the play, and away goes Twin City. Gus Ford with Roman Kramer. Ford streaking down the wing. Got it in front. They score! Zach White. 4-2. Twin City. It's that same forward line again. That finds the back of the net. And Twin City has doubled up the IceCats lead. That forward line does it again. IceCats with some adversity. They face their largest deficit. Garrett Johnson. Pass that finds Adam Zimmerman. Puck comes to Konstantin Chernak. Launched through the middle. Here comes Trevor Lord. Riding in, launching one out of play. 15:40 to go. So Gus Ford helped spring the rush that found Zach White. Roman Kramer, one of the names that might not see all the spotlight in some regards. He has been involved on 3 assists this evening. He's had quite the evening. Here's Trevor Lord. Driving, got it across, just so point blank, and a save made by Boris Babik. 15:26 to go in the third period. Twin City with a 4-2 lead on the IceCats. Face off, set to take place to the right, the Twin City goaltender. Patrick Marcinkiewicz take the draw, opposed against Jan Salak. Lone Twin City goal, not from Thunderbirds' first line. Salak wins the draw in towards his defending left corner. Thunderbirds look to break out. Here's Houston Wilson, back for Nick McGill-Diaz. With Dominic Marcinkiewicz lighting up, Houston and Wilson couldn't escort a shot in time. 5 minutes played in the third period. 4-2 lead for Twin City. Farmer chipped it in. Twin City on the attack. Chernak looks to clear. Demke down low. Konstantin Chernak. The puck in his own end. Here's Nick McGill-Diaz. IceCats look to play catch as they look to spring a rush, trailing by 2. Dominic Marcinkiewicz gains the line, backhands one in. Dion Demke is there with Chernak in to help, with Dominic Marcinkiewicz with a hit on Roman Kramer. He has the puck, plays to Dion Demke. Back to James Farmer. 14:22 to go. Third period, IceCats with the puck. Here's Dominic Marcinkiewicz, who stops on a dime. Out high, Razulov. One-timer from Jordan Popoff. And equal to task Boris Babik. Twin City looks to break out with 14:07 to go in the third. Razulov touches up for icing. 14:04 remaining. 4-2 the lead for Twin City. Break in the action. We'll take a break ourselves with the Thunderbirds of Twin City leading 4-2 with 6 minutes played in the third period.
Hey, grab me one too.
Back, let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help bought some beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brothers, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 my bund at the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stink, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wristlet diff. Funny banter instead of
On the IceCats broadcast network, Twin City
with a 4-2 lead on the visiting PD IceCats. Glad you're with us this evening, wherever you may be listening or viewing from across the IceCats broadcast network. Nick Gullo go up against Gus Ford, and again it's the top line out for Twin City. Certainly something to keep on your radar. They have been a part of 3 of the 4 goals scored by Twin City tonight. And away goes Gus Ford. He chips the puck in, or at least tried to. Timur Razulov had none of that. Here come the IceCats. Trevor Lord winds up. Stick of Don Carter Jr. foiled the attempted bid. Lord from behind the goal line. Sherbakov in on the back check. Puck frozen directly behind the Twin City goal. 13:35 to go in the third. 4-2 lead for Twin City on the IceCats. Don Carter Jr. escapes with the puck. He gingerly sends one out towards Zach White, who launches one after gaining the red line, and Jordan Popoff retrieves for the IceCats. Timur Razulov hit heavily by John Butita. Trevor Lord across the line to chance. Adrian DeGiusso! What a stop! Eli Rivers, with the stop from Boris Babic. 13:05 to go in the third. Haltage in play with the puck sent on down with 13:02 remaining in the third. Boris Babic, perhaps his best save of the night on Eli Rivers. Hoping with the toe drag to flip the backhand up over Boris Babic's glove side. And he's tending to his equipment. In the aftermath of the play. And there is something going on along the right wing wall that can't be seen. And with that, and on the right wing corner, that an injured IceCat, and that is Trevor Lord. We'll take a break, be back in a moment.
Hey, grab me one too.
In the heart of Florence, South Carolina, discover Palmetto Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental care, led by Dr. Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education and bringing the latest methods to every patient. At Palmetto Smiles, comprehensive dentistry is under one roof: general care, restorative solutions, TMJ therapy, delivered with compassion. Ready for a healthier, more beautiful smile?
Now where Trevor Lord is on the IceCats bench being tended to. Back in play with 7 minutes played in the third. Twin City with a 4-2 lead on the IceCats. Zimmerman from his own end. Able to clear the puck on down. Tipped on its way towards Ricardo Gonzalez. He plays the puck into the corner with supposed icing waved off because of the tip off an IceCats stick towards the goal. Save made by Gonzalez. Farmer from below the goal line. Butita with Hippo Lyle Smith within the neighborhood. Sent towards the goal. Butita, side of the net. Nobody to pass to. Instead, he found Bowie Slarks for the IceCats, who sends one out through the neutral zone towards the back end for Twin City with Adam Zimmerman. James Farmer got it across to Yuri Peshchuka through the middle. Twin City on the attack. Farmer out high. Sends one below the goal line. Pass for Yuri Peshchuka, broken up by the IceCats. Here's Dominic Marcinkiewicz, Nick McGill-Diaz through the middle in traffic. Instead, Farmer clears out for Konstantin Chernak. Nick McGill-Diaz gains the red line and sends one in for the IceCats, trailing 4-2.
11:45 to go in the third. Patrick Marcinkiewicz with a shot. Babic the save. Here's Popoff from the left wing corner. Wilson from an acute angle from the left corner. Konstantin Chernak moved the puck along. Patrick Marcinkiewicz, dangerous play along the right half wall. He races to the puck from the corner. Hit heavily by James Farmer. It is turned physical. Heavy hit to the wall. Thanks to Dominic Marcinkiewicz, we play on. Farmer, Patrick Marcinkiewicz also wants to use the body. Another heavy hit that came on Michael Mania from Dominic Marcinkiewicz. All this with the IceCats in the attacking end. Chernak looks to keep the puck alive. Dominic Marcinkiewicz down low to Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Wilson, Babic down. Farmer clears the puck to Carter. Banked off the wall. Mania kept in the zone. Dominic Marcinkiewicz to Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Right back to Dominic again. Left side, Razulov closing, scores! Timur Razulov, his first goal of the season, and he scores to make it a one-goal game. Yet the official tells Dominic Marcinkiewicz to head to the box, and the question is this being waved off? And it appears Razulov scoring the goal. Patrick Marcinkiewicz was pointed towards the penalty box. As we wait confirmation. So the head referee heads to the scorer's table. One of the captains, Nick McGill-Diaz for the IceCats, along with the assistant captain, Gus Ford, in the conference. And this seems to be something to do with the contact from Patrick Marcinkiewicz, which was away from the play. Razulov initially believed that he had scored his first goal of the year. All this with 10:47 remaining. And this goal, for what the IceCats thought would be tallied, is wiped off the board. So the official ruling, no goal, after Razulov thought he had cut the deficit. More adversity for the IceCats. Not to mention Patrick Marcinkiewicz has been dished with a minor penalty in the aftermath. Head coach Gary Graham, you can see for those watching online, asking for an explanation with the officials. Remember, it's still an early season game. You would expect to see a lot of penalties in a game early on as opposed to late in the season when both teams have found their footing on knowing what lines are there and what the officials would call and what they wouldn't. And it's important to find that throughout the course of the year. But in the end, indication with Patrick Marcinkiewicz has yet to head to the box. Twin City is up in arms because he hasn't gone there until now, where he makes the skate, and the unpaid officials of Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena certainly showing their pleasure. 10:47 to go in the third. Chance Adrian to go up against Zach White. Play halted. They're set to drop the puck with Patrick Marcinkiewicz in the penalty box, partnered by Sean Austin Realty. The penalty kill, partnered by Bluefish IT Solutions. It's power play underway for Twin City. Roman Kramer on goal. Pad save made by Gonzalez. Houston Wilson lunches one down the ice in the direction of Gus Ford. Ever been wrongly accused of something? Contact Jim Hoffmeyer, law attorney, serving the PD region. Here's Michael Mania.
banked heavily off of Chance Adrian's body. That sends the puck out of the Twin City attacking end. 30 seconds expended on the minor to Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Ryan Glazer gains the red and the blue line for Twin City as they look to set up the power play. But the IceCats defense able to stand up to the task, but Twin City has the puck below the goal line. Glazer, Mania also in to help from the right wing corner. Here's chance that heads straight towards goal from Michael Mania. Ricardo Gonzalez covers with 9:49 remaining in the third period. 4-2 lead for Twin City. Critical juncture. And if you are the IceCats, this is borderline, well, they're all optimally must kill, but if there ever is a must kill penalty, this is it with a 2-goal lead for Twin City. Reminder, IceCats yesterday coming away with victory 6-4 against the Twin City Thunderbirds, with Dominic Marcinkiewicz scoring a hat trick. Part of Marcinkiewicz Twins weekend. Brings us into a break in the action. Gives us a chance to thank our proud partners with the PD IceCats, which includes Sport Clips, M&M Printing, Tomlinson Sales Company, James Hoffmeyer, Jim Hoffmeyer, law attorney, beg your pardon, XGen Cryo, Sean Austin Remax, Palmetto Smiles, Chick-fil-A, Powers Properties, Gorget Distilling, Pepsi of Florence, Stanley Steamer, McLeod Health and Fitness, Integrative Health Solutions, Zapata's Grill, Seminar Brewing, Damasimo's, Margaritas, Something to Remember, Hertz, Evening Shade, all of which proud partners of the PD IceCats. Just a reminder, coming up next Friday at 7:15, Hometown Heroes Nights. Tickets are on sale, and also special ticket promotion for those of our first responders and municipal workers. Tickets starting at 3 tickets for $45. Contact PD Pro Hockey's ticket email at tickets@pdprohockey.com for more information. 9:49 to go, 102 remaining. As far as the penalty kill is concerned for the IceCats, and away goes Twin City. Yuri Peshtuka from his own end goes for a skate. More penalty kill time, wiped off the board for the IceCats. Here's Yuri Peshtuka. He gains the blue line for the Thunderbirds. Checked heavily to the wall by Konstantin Chernak. He's played well defensively for the IceCats. Certainly asked of for defensemen. Here's Yuri Peshtuka. Got it out wide. Jan Salakabid. And a save made by Gonzalez in towards the corner. Launched down to center. And Twin City forced to regroup. 20 seconds left in the power play. IceCats have the puck, and they are offside, with Dominic Marcinkiewicz looking to ignite the rush. 9:03 to go in the third. 4-2 lead for Twin City on the IceCats. 17 seconds remaining in the minor to Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Face-off just outside the Twin City defending end. IceCats win the puck back to Garrett Johnson, defenseman for the IceCats. Houston Wilson nearly wipes away all of power play time. IceCats come away with another penalty kill as Patrick Marcinkiewicz is released from the box. Pass for Roman Kramer from an acute angle, and a save made by Gonzalez. He had to seal off the right post. Houston Wilson gains a line, shooting one paddled away by Boris Babik. Moved across by Timur Razulov, who had the goal that was discounted because of the penalty of Patrick Marcinkiewicz. He watches Twin City break out across the blue line. Gus Ford got it across for Zach White. Ford again. He puts on the brakes on Jordan Popoff. Nobody from the right point there to help. Instead, he discerns down low for John Butita, the captain, to Zach White. He looks to garner space. Breaking wide goes Nate Keeley. He has the puck from the right hash mark on the drive. Razulov comes away with a steal. Here's Dominic Marcinkiewicz, who gains the line. He sends an angle from quite an awkward position, and that went off the back glass. IceCats send it in straight
towards Boris Babick into the corner. Here's Don Carter Jr. for Twin City. 7:35 to go in the third. Zimmerman runs into a wall. That is Jordan Popoff. 7:30 remaining. Twin City, a 4-2 lead on the IceCats. Launched by Nick Gullo, who is stapled to the wall by Adam Zimmerman. And that garners a crowd. Dustin Gisso takes exception to that with a partial cross-check. Gisso not pleased, understandably so. Have to commend Dustin Gisso, hoping to defend his teammate, Nick Gullo, who was hit heavily by Zimmerman. 7:16 remaining in the third period. With the shots on goal, once again favoring Twin City, 31-23. But a 4-2 lead. And Zimmerman, well, with that hit on Nick Gullo, he's in penalty box, partnered by Sonic. IceCats in the power play, presented by Chick-fil-A. Off the tie-up that heads behind the Twin City cage. Zach White launches one. Nick McGill-Diaz saves power play time for the IceCats. Instead, he retreats back into his own end to kickstart the IceCats man advantage. 7 minutes to go. IceCats trail 4-2. Just so, gains the line, dancing in. Here's Eli Rivers, dropped it. Lord, a shot! Fresh off being shaken up earlier. He's back on the ice for the power play. First appearance for him since that point. McGill-Diaz through traffic and a save made by Babick. 6:43 to go in the third. 1:28 remaining in power play for the IceCats. Certainly a juncture if they're looking to find a spark. This could be the place for it, even if it means not scoring. Plenty of offensive pressure can certainly change momentum on a power play. Then again, time is the enemy for the IceCats. 6:43 left. Deficit is 2. Twin City with the puck. Slammed out by John Butita. Back towards the IceCats end. With 6:30 to go, 1:15 remaining on the power play for the IceCats. Dominic Marcinkiewicz gains the line for Chance Adrian. With Marcinkiewicz going to work. Houston Wilson from the right wing corner. Patrick Marcinkiewicz with Konstantin Chernak awaiting. Adrian stapled to the wall. Patrick Marcinkiewicz again. Tough physicality along the right wing corner. Chernak up high. Far wing, Dominic Marcinkiewicz hit the goalpost. Don Carter Jr. skates the puck to safety, 40 seconds to kill. He goes for a lap. IceCats surrounding him before Don Carter Jr. sends one through the neutral zone. IceCats forced to regroup. 30 seconds remaining in the power play. Dominic Marcinkiewicz across for Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Adrian gains a line. Patrick's riding in, missed the net. Houston Wilson from the right half wall. Gives to Patrick Marcinkiewicz off the body of Nate Keeley. And that nearly completes all the power play. 8 seconds left in it. Patrick Marcinkiewicz. Can he do it again? Gives to Dominic. He waits. He shoots. Save made by Babick. With 1 second remaining in the power play. With 5:16 remaining in the game. Twin City with a 4-2 lead on the IceCats. And it's a story with the lapse you take away. 4 minutes in the second period. This is a completely different game. It is a 60-minute game. Zimmerman released from the box. And Twin City completes the penalty kill. Trevor Lord out for Jordan Popoff. Breaking. Dustin Gisso missed the net. Lord awaits with a puck from the right wall. Here's Dustin Gisso. Banked off of Nick Gullo. Before Twin City clears the puck out for Jordan Popoff. 4:50 remaining in the third period. Here's Gisso again. Came into the night leading in assists. Cross for Trevor Lord. Gullo behind the net. 4:35 remaining in the third. Here's Trevor Lord. Hit heavily
by Sherbakov. And play is halted. 4:30 remaining in the third period. And Twin City certainly has ramped up the physicality, particularly in the third period. Break in the action. We'll be back for the finish of regulation, we promise, after this on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
We back. Let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brothers, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 of my bone that the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stank, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wrist slip diff. Funny banter, instead of...
Hey, grab me one too.
PD IceCats trailing 4-2. Twin City Thunderbirds with 4:30 remaining in the game. Chance Adrian take the draw opposed against Gus Ford. Off the tie-up, it comes into the right wing corner. With Sergei Sherbakov with a heavy hit earlier. Long bid from Nick McGill-Diaz missing it with a bid towards goal from Konstantin Chernak. In from left wing corner, Twin City able to escape. Thunderbirds chip the puck as far as Nick McGill-Diaz. Here is Skate Skaldy. IceCats looking to revamp. 4 minutes to go in the third period, trailing by 2. Nick McGill-Diaz, the captain, gains the red line and the blue line as he lofts one into the right wing corner. Sherbakov. Adrian comes away with a steal for the IceCats down low. Skate Skaldy goes to work. First game with the IceCats wearing the blue, Carolina blue and white, and the play halted in the corner. Skaldy was down on his side, and he's able to head to the bench. With play halted with 3:43 remaining in the third. IceCats in search of 2 goals. Trailing 4-2. Nick Gullo take the draw, opposed against Jan Salak. Salak wins it out high for Timur Razulov. Trevor Lord from behind the net, drifting on the backhand from the right wing corner. Pressure employed by Twin City defense. Razulov slings one towards the net, hoping for a tip. Lord behind the goal line. Gullo centering pass, just so! What a stop by Babic. 3:20 to go in the third. Thunderbirds launch the puck out to center, and this goes for icing with 3:16 to go in the third. Keep an eye on IceCats goaltender Ricardo Gonzalez. See if head coach Gary Graham elects to pull him for the extra attacker, and he's waving. Yes, head to the bench. So an empty net for the IceCats. Skating with 6 skaters and a vacated goal. With 6 attackers trailing by 2. Twin City wins the draw. Comes to Nick McGill-Diaz out high. Right side, Patrick's Marcin Kevik's looking for a tip. Scramble in front of the goal, and somehow, with all the massive humanity, Boris Babic comes away with a save. 3:06 to go in the third. With Boris Babic, the reason why Twin City has been hanging tough. 26 saves on the evening. With 3:06 remaining. You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network on 100.5 The Game. WWFN. Florence. 3:06 to go in the third. 4-2 lead for Twin City. Net empty for the IceCats.
They look to keep the puck in. Houston Wilson on goal. Boris Babic in the end covers yet again. 2:57 remaining. Puck possession so critical here. One mistake can wind up in the back of your net. Chance Adrian against Nate Keeley. Adrian wins the draw. Patrick Marcinkiewicz out high to Dominics, who fanned on the shot. Nick McGill-Diaz down low. Patrick Marcinkiewicz, his bid towards goal. Heads towards Nick McGill-Diaz from the left point. Houston Wilson looking for Bowie Slarks. Here's John Butita with a steal, launching his bid, missed the empty net, icing the call with 2:38 remaining in the third. So the IceCats with the puck as they look to start up with a face-off that takes place from the left face-off dot. Here's Nick Gullo, opposed against Nate Keeley. Off the tie-up, one back to the point. Shernock to Lord, shooting, tipped on its way towards the goal into the right wing corner. And they battle from the right wing side. Escaped out for Skate Scaldi. Held in at the line, not quite. And an empty net on the awaiting end for Noah Hippa, Lyle Smith, and he buries it. Noah Hippa, Lyle Smith. His first goal of the season into the empty net. And Twin City knocking on the door of their first win of the season. IceCats certainly have shown the effort of playing the role of a contender. But Twin City found their footing through the middle stages of the second period. They're on their way to 3 points in the standings and dealing the IceCats their first regulation loss of the season. But considering what many may have forecasted with this IceCats team, being picked amongst many to be in the bottom half of the division, they certainly made a statement by playing competitively yesterday and today, rather, and very well yesterday, coming away with the 3 points, 6-4 win. So they come away with a split. A lot of positives to take away for Gary Graham and the IceCats side. Obviously not earning the 6 points, but still a lot to take away and build for the next meeting between these two teams and for next week against Athens. 1:38 remaining in the third period. Bowie Slarks out high, long beaming chance from Adam Zimmerman. Scales on back towards the Twin City end. 1:25 to go in the third. Don Carter Jr. starts up the rush for Twin City. Zimmerman gave the puck away to Garrett Johnson. In comes Patrick Marcinkiewicz. His shot sealed off by Boris Babic. Out high, Johnson. Patrick Marcinkiewicz able to baseball bat instead. High sticking is the call with 1:06 remaining in the third period to bring play to a stop. 66 seconds remain. Again, Hometown Heroes night next Friday, 7:15 from the Florence Center. We'll be with you on the IceCats Broadcast Network and from the Florence Center. Tickets are on sale on Hometown Heroes night. Twin City sends the puck down. The final minute of play in the third period. Here's Garrett Johnson through the middle for Dominic Marcinkiewicz. IceCats look to navigate on the rush. Jan Salak can't field the puck. Houston Wilson almost came away with a steal himself. A hit from Dominic Marcinkiewicz the last 40 seconds of regulation. Nick McGill-Diaz works the right side. Going to work. Hit heavily to the wall thanks to Sergei Shabakov with 30 seconds remaining. Wilson from behind the net. Looking to harness the pass. Sherbakov launches one. Last 20 seconds. Sherbakov clears the defensive zone for Twin City. No icing. The Twin City Thunderbirds, fresh off of 3 straight appearances in the Commissioner's Cup final. After they made 3 trips to the Cup final, they earned their first win of the season. Well, have they? Clock winds down, and it is over. Twin City Thunderbirds come away with their first win of the season by the count of 5-2. Boris Babik in the win, 28 saves. Dee IceCats dropped their first game in regulation on the season. Ricardo Gonzalez certainly did all he could for the IceCats to keep them in this game. But in the end, first road trip of the season to Winston-Salem. The IceCats come away with 3 points in the standings. With the win yesterday of 6-4, they return home to take on the Athens Rock Lobsters. Trevor Lord, certainly with a scare midway portion of the third period. Good to see that he played critical minutes in the third period when needed most by the IceCats, although the effort comes up just short. Twin City faithful salutes their fans after a 5-2 victory. We'll take a break, and we'll be back to wrap with post-game show, stats, analysis, scores from around the league, all that and more coming up next on the IceCats Broadcast Network.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Stanley Steamer. Stanley Steamer of Florence provides professional deep cleaning services and comprehensive care for a cleaner, healthier home. Butler's Men's Shop, your one-stop shop for men. Everything from tuxedos and suits to sportswear. We have it all. Integrative Health Solutions, your partners in health.
Hey, grab me one too.
Back. Let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brother, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 of my boon at the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stank, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wristlet diff. Funny banter instead of...
Ding dong.
Mountain dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by McLeod Health and Fitness Center, the wellness leader. Austin and Associates, the right agent can lead the way. Hertz Car Rentals, smart deals for any destination. Sports Clips Haircuts, the pros in men's and boys' hair.
grab me one too.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
Hey, let's go.
For the final time this evening from Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena, Twin City Thunderbirds 5-2 victors this evening over the Dee IceCats. Janie Bach, pleasure to be with you. Take a look at the emblem of the Twin City Thunderbirds logo for those watching on YouTube. We recap the story for tonight's game, and this is a question of the IceCats playing against one of the strongest teams in the league, having finished as the finalists last 3 seasons and winning on the road yesterday 6-4. The question would be, how would the IceCats respond here today? And it started well to begin things. Patrick Marcinkiewicz scored a brilliant goal with the assist to Tima Razulov and Jordan Popoff. And for Popoff, that's his first point of the season. And for Razulov, his third helper of the year. For Patrick Marcinkiewicz, after starting the scoring for the IceCats yesterday, he does so the same at 6:48 to give the IceCats a lead. But Twin City would respond. Zach White scoring his only goal of the game, or his first of 2 goals of the contest. He scores at 9:19, and that set the tone for what would be a night that would highlight a lot of Zach White. For White, he came into tonight's game having had a goal and 2 assists. From last night, he scores his second goal of the season to make it a 1-1 game. And then late in the first period, Trevor Lord, snapshot from the left wing circle, able to beat Twin City goaltender Boris Babic, give the IceCats a 2-1 lead into the dressing room after 20 minutes of play. And then in the second period, no scoring until just past the halfway mark of period number 2. Jan Salak, what was a workmanlike goal. Yuri Peshchuk and Michael Mania in on the forecheck. They got the puck open for Jan Salak, and he did not miss. And that tied up the game at the 11:56 mark of the second period. And then, soon to follow, Twin City answered again. Gus Ford at 14:47, 5-hole goal on IceCats goaltender Ricardo Gonzalez. The assists to Roman Kramer and Zach White gave Twin City the lead, and they would not look back. Third period, 3:57, Zach White, he opened the scoring for Twin City. He scores the last goal with a goaltender in the crease. Zach White, assisted by Gus Ford and Roman Kramer at 3:57 of the third period. IceCats thought they had brought the deficit to 1 with a goal from Tima Razulov before penalty from Patrick Marcinkiewicz wiped the goal off the board. When it comes to special teams, no goals as far as power plays were concerned, where Twin City on the power play went, doing some quick math, they went 0 for 4 on the power play thanks to the IceCats penalty kill. And for Twin City and their efforts on the penalty kill themselves, they went total of 0 of 6. So that's the story of the IceCats. 0 of 6 on the power play. But special teams always a huge factor, and that's what you expect with two strong teams. In the end, to cap off the scoring at 17:42, Noah Hippolyte Smith scored into an empty cage with Ricardo Gonzalez to the bench for the extra attacker. Twin City 5-2 victors tonight. IceCats do come away with 3 points over the weekend with a regulation win yesterday against Twin City by the count of 6-4. With Dominic Marcinkiewicz scoring a hat trick in the victory. Next broadcasts take place on Friday at 7:15. We'll be with you from the Florence Center. The Athens Rock Lobsters come to town. First meeting between the two teams from the South colliding for the first of 12 meetings this year. We'll see a lot of the Athens Rock Lobsters this season. One more look at the FPHL scoreboard over games that are either still in progress or have just ended. Of course, this being the first game in the league to start. Look at scores there in the third period in Danbury. Binghamton, 2-0 lead over the hometown Hat-Tricks. Watertown and Port Huron, low-scoring affair, 1-1 in the third period. Columbus River Dragons, game certainly of note for the IceCats, two teams that IceCats will see a lot of. Columbus, a 5-3 lead over Blue Ridge. That in the second period. The Athens Rock Lobsters against Indiana, 5-2 lead for Athens. They're in the second period. They're underway in first period in Topeka. And it's the home side, Topeka, with a 1-0 lead over Biloxi. And then they're in the second period over in Monroe. And it's the Baton Rouge Zydeco in their first game of the season. They lead Monroe Moccasins by a count of 2-0. That's the storyline for scores around the league. IceCats will be at home against Athens next Friday. Broadcasts can be found on the IceCats Broadcast Network. Tickets are on sale, with it being Hometown Heroes Nights. Special thank you to everyone involved as far as first responders are concerned. Ticket offer, where you can contact tickets at pdprohockey.com if you are a first responder or a municipal worker. And those tickets are on sale now. Email tickets at pdprohockey.com for more information. And then the IceCats head on the road against the Blue Ridge Bobcats, that being a week from today on Saturday in Wytheville, Virginia. And that game take place on the road with a start time scheduled out in Blue Ridge at 7:30. And that is the beginning of a 3-game stretch before the Blue Ridge Bobcats head into the PD region week after with a 2-game homestand against the Bobcats before the IceCats head towards a bye-week break. Final look at the 3 stars presented by Mirage Promotional. Third star of the game goes to Gus Ford, as he was a part of that first line for Twin City that certainly made life difficult for the PD IceCats. For Gus Ford, his final statistics, 1 goal and 2 assists. He also got involved in a fight. So the story for Gus Ford, he has a Gordie Howe hat trick and an extra assist. And the second star, Boris Babic, making 29 saves and earning the victory for Twin City. Number 1 star goes to Zach White. 2 goals and 1 assist. 3-point night. Certainly a lot of the Twin City offense to rely on Gus Ford and Zach White. And they certainly prove their marks here this evening for Twin City. That's all the time that we have for tonight's broadcast. A special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible. For my producer, Aiden Mulholland, I'm Danny Bach saying so long and take care. And thanks for being with us. Your final score, Twin City Thunderbirds 5, PD IceCats 2. We'll see you next Friday on the IceCats Broadcast Network from the Florence Center.